Yes. Hello and welcome to our session 2 recruiting from Fresh Cookie Camp. This is Kathy Buter, and welcome to this training. We've got local consultants here, and we have consultants all across the U.S. listening in, and we're going to talk about recruiting and income growth today. It is a recorded session, so if you miss any part of this, you can go back to it. You can also refer people to the same site where you tuned in to watch this recording. So we have a full crowd here. I will just pan around very quickly. If everybody could say hello. Hi. Yes, here in San Diego. Very nice. And I hope that you can stay on for as long as you can on this session. Oh, Kelly Kane, very good. You and Amanda are there. Okay. So just write down Kelly Kane and Amanda when you get back, Tricia. Okay. Okay, so we are going to talk about recruiting and income growth today. And there are really two topics that will take up the whole time block, so we're very happy to dedicate all of that to you. And I'm going to start with something that should be on top of everybody's mind when they start talking with people about Cookie-Lee, and that is the golden rule. So we know about the golden rule in life: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And this is really important when we talk about our Cookie-Lee business. There's going to be several times where you meet somebody who already has a Cookie-Lee consultant, and there are certain questions that you should be asking. Now, it does vary a little bit different between buying from a Cookie-Lee consultant, another Cookie-Lee consultant, and talking to somebody about the business. When you talk to somebody about the business, you really want to make sure that you've covered all your bases. So I would ask somebody, and I do ask anybody I meet, do you already have a Cookie-Lee consultant? Do you work with a Cookie-Lee consultant? Oftentimes you'll get the response that I used to, or I can't remember her name. Something like that would prompt a response that, can I help put you in touch with her? Is there anything you could tell me about her where I might be able to pull out, what her name is? Where does she live? Anything like that. Or when was the last time that you dealt with her? Do you feel you want to continue that relationship? Anything like that. A lot of times what you'll hear is, well, I met her at a show, but I don't really have a relationship with her. Okay, fine, then that's open ground to be talking with somebody. But anything other than that, and especially when we get into recruiting, we really want to try to put that person in connection with the first consultant. Ultimately, it is that new recruit's decision on who to sign with. However, if somebody has been there before, if somebody has done a recruiting interview or handed recruiting information and even mentioned, I'd like to talk to you about this business, it is your responsibility to try and put them in touch with that first person. And what goes around comes around, honestly. If you decide that that's not something that you want to be doing and you're not respecting where somebody else has walked before, well, then that's going to come back to you. And then that one day when you get a call, oh, I just recruited somebody and apparently you knew her or something like that, then then that's coming back to you what, you've put out there. So I don't think that we have any issues with our team with the golden rule, but I do feel with our exponential growth that I really have to bring this up. And I need to make sure that at every meeting we have a little bit about the golden rule. Don't you?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, especially because it's not something that is clarified, sometimes in the recruiting portion.
Right. Right. I do feel, or I have seen that in the trainings that are put out by NYRA, she's got a little page on it every time she puts out a training. But now they've moved to sort of a training menu where you can either elect to use their training or do your own training. And so I really need to be reminded, and if I fail on that in any meeting, I hope that my leaders will pitch in and say, let's just chat a little bit about the golden rule. It's important to get everybody off to the right start. You're brand new, Kinsey, so we want to make sure you're off to the right start and understand that we are here to help everybody and respect everybody else's. We don't have territories, but respect the work that people have done. Okay?
It surprises me that people wouldn't have that follow-up system in
Right.
place. Why don't you know your consultant's name? Anybody that's dealt with me, they're getting emails from me at least once a month or some kind of follow-up. So that goes back to us. We need to keep in front of.
But even when you
customers.
do that, if that person hasn't had interaction
Right.
with you in a while, then, you know, there's still been that relationship, you know, so,
Just as a quick note, the
Yes.
Success Factory
yes.
had a topic today on the very thing.
Was that, I thought I saw a blurb on that, and I didn't
Was
read that. Okay,
Today's little thing from Success Factory.
was on the
It's-
golden rule.
Yes,
Okay.
basically it was on keeping in touch and what, and how to, you know, it was like, has anyone ever taken a consultant out from under you kind of thing?
Yeah.
or-
Okay,
And how to approach it.
okay, very good.
It's a free online motivational.
Yeah, you can just go to the successfactory.com, I think, and then sign up for their daily blurb, you know, kind of thing. I don't know what they call it, but just sign up for that and they'll send you different messages. Okay, so I wanted to just put that out there about the golden rule, and I appreciate the comments on that. And then if anybody has any questions, let us know. So first, we're going to start with consultant basic training number 6. Well, we should welcome our guests. Hello. What's your name? I'm sorry, Nicole? How are you? Good? Yes. And Nicole, you're thinking about joining Cookie Lee. Yeah, well, put that aside. Just join Cookie Lee. Hi, very nice to meet you. And I'm glad that you can make it with us. You know, what we were talking about a little bit earlier was that we do this training once a month, and on this segment, it would be every other month. So I'm really glad that you could join us tonight, because then it would be 2 months before you could join us and talk about recruiting. So I'm glad that you're here. Okay? All right, so we're just going to dive into it. There's pizza and stuff
Do we have
right
extra
there.
handouts?
I do not. So maybe somebody could. Okay.
Or we can just share. I just
So-
wanted to make sure she.
We're going to begin with the consultant basic training handout. It's CBT lesson number 6. And I actually had everybody print off the other day the facilitator portion so that we could save a little bit of time. And then today I sent off the other handout for it. Because there were certain things that I wanted everybody to have for that. By the way, in that was a copy of the golden rule. So I just want to make sure everybody has a copy of this and we can pass that around.
Excuse me.
And then there's another worksheet that was not included in the facilitator portion, so if you could pass that around too. And I'm going to have our trainer, Vicki Watkins, begin with, oh, are you not ready?
Not ready.
Okay, begin with the CBT number 6 on page 1 on recruiting. I'm
Okay,
going to turn this over.
so we're going to not really do this example that we have in our program here, but with the recruiting,
Oh, excellent.
it tells us that it is the lifeline of our business. The sales, you know, help our immediate economic need, but the recruiting is how we grow our team and grow our, sorry, Lisa and I are trying not to say so if you guys want to count how many times we say then. But
You know, it's
anyway,
not really a bad thing. It means your brain is processing.
yeah, but you're
it
supposed to
down.
just stop.
No,
and
I
take a
would,
breath.
I would turn me off if I had to listen to me say, one more time.
But it is, the recruiting is one of the easiest ways to build your team and duplicate yourself.
Here, let me
Excuse
move
me.
back.
Recruiting is a gift, and I think if you don't understand that yet, that you really need to examine that and get on board with that it is a gift, and that helps open up the doors to so many other avenues when we are trying to recruit, which we'll go over a little bit later. And it is a process, and I think this is where I can tell you that myself personally, because we know what this business is and we know the opportunities that this business provides. Aside from the jewelry is the avenue. So I am so excited about that I want everyone that I meet to sign up like right now. Like, why do you even need to think about it? Because there's and now with the $99 option, it's a no-brainer. But it is a process. Unlike what I did when I joined. I went online, I Googled a consultant, and I joined. So I want everyone to think like I do, and amazingly enough, it was quite shocking that I had to learn they don't. So recruiting is a process, and I think with our recruiting cards, it makes it so much easier.
Excuse me.
It says at the bottom here, I believe it may not so much be that you don't want to recruit, but more that you don't know how to recruit. And that struck home with me, absolutely. I do want to recruit. I didn't know how to recruit, and it took me a long time to get my first recruit. But it is something that all of the avenues are provided for us, and it's practice. That's, I think, the key to most of it. Should I go over the top 10, Kathy? Next
Yes.
page. Okay, the next page, the top 10 reasons why women join Cookie Lee. You own it's a job, your own business, not a job. And boy, let me tell you, right now, I work full-time. I have since I've been in Cookie Lee. And this is my release. I don't know where I would be mentally if I didn't have my Cookie Lee business and my Cookie Lee friendships and my Cookie Lee outlets. Because work is really stressful, which I think it is for anyone that's working, because everybody's doing more with less and all that sort of thing. So if you're working outside of the Cookie Lee business, this gives you an opportunity to grow towards making it, with me personally, more of my full-time business when I can leave the outside business. Another reason, designer inspired fashion jewelry. Well, we know from experience that Cookie Lee is phenomenal with her designs. And I think one of the things with our company particularly, with the fact that we have 4 to 6 different lines of jewelry in every single catalog. We have our classics, we have our trendy, we have our, bohemian, we have a lot of different styles, and Cookie keeps up with it, which is awesome. Most direct sales jewelry companies are not like that. They basically have one type of jewelry line.
And this, can I just share something? This necklace that Vicky's got on right here, doubled. I've had a gal, no, this one, the rings.
Oh, this is the latest Insider Club rings.
I had a gal come to Kim's kickoff show, and she wore something very similar to this. It was over $150 at another jewelry party
Direct sale
business.
company.
Yeah. So this was, how much is that?
34?
Yeah.
34,
She was
36.
impressed.
Flexible hours, that's a huge one. We work our business around our family needs, around our other needs. So you determine what hours you want to work. Excellent income based on performance. If somebody says you don't have to work at this business, they're really not being honest. You do have to work at it. It is a business, but the rewards are so great for when you do work at it. When we do a home show and we average 150 to 250 gross profit in two and a half hours, that's pretty incredible. Competitive price structure and a variety of styles. We just covered that. This is huge, I think, the no territories, which is why we've got team members all over the country. And that is really awesome, because what might be hot in Southern California might not be the hot seller in Ohio or somewhere else. And I'll tell you what, any of you that are in the snow country, I don't know how you do your business. I really don't know how you do your business.
snow.
Because in Southern California, they don't even want to go anywhere in the rain. So, kudos, we can learn from you guys.
Yeah.
But the no territories, I think, is absolutely incredible. Unlimited growth potential, well, that's where we look to our leaders. And our leaders, like Kathy has been in this business for 10 years. We have leaders that have been in even longer. That speaks mountains to me, because if it wasn't financially viable, Kathy, I know particularly wouldn't be here, because you're a numbers girl.
Yes.
Kathy's a numbers girl. She has a financial background. So if it doesn't make sense financially, now she can't leave because we can hold her hostage. She has friendships that she can't walk away from, but you do have unlimited growth potential. And enjoying what you do, that's,
I'll
that
get you a
goes without
tissue.
saying.
None.
Yeah. And the fact that you sell right off your body. I think everyone that's been in this business for any length of time, you do sell right off your body, out of your tote, those two. And the first time that you do it. And this is what I always like to tell people, that when I first meet them, even if they're not my direct downline, I want to know when you sell off your body, because it's really fun. It's very exciting to sell off your body. We don't need details.
And you really don't know what to say. You're like,
Yeah.
okay.
But you're not gonna sell it if you're not wearing it.
Yeah.
Or
You have
carry
to
your
wear it.
token.
gotta get one for me again.
Yeah. So you really do sell off your body. Okay, there's two ums. The recruiting process, what it consists of. So at least I'm cognizant, at least that I've
Yes.
With the recruiting process, making a recruiting list, we'll go through the Frank list, doing the homework, making phone calls to schedule recruiting interviews or meeting in person, holding a recruiting interview using the 6 recruiting cards. We'll demonstrate that. That is, I think, one of the best things that the company came out with. Because not only does it show you how to do it, but it shows the person you're speaking with how easy it is to do that. Holding the new consultant orientation with your recruit, explaining quick success. Basically what this is saying is we walk everyone through the first 90 days of their business. Cookie Lee, you know, we're on our 20 years celebrating the growth of this company and the existence of this company. They wouldn't be around this long if they didn't care about what we do. Well, obviously they want us to stay with them too, right? So we always want the people that join us, if they want to work the business, we want to help them work that business. If they want to just be a personal shopper or buy it or join because they want to do a fundraiser where they can give 100% of their profits, that's awesome. And we can help them reach whatever their goals are. But often it changes once they get in and they realize how much fun it is. The whole recruiting part becomes more apparent, even if they didn't sign up to be doing any of the recruiting. The Frank list, are we going to do that now?
Yeah.
You want to do that? You want me to do that?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You do it.
So our next handout is the Frank list, which is, okay, wait,
It's in there.
here it is. I think it's 5.
I have a commercial announcement while Vicky's
It's
looking
5.
for that.
Number
Peyton
5.
Manning signed with Denver.
Yeah, we know.
Oh,
Who
you
cares?
Not
Oh,
happy.
okay.
Does anybody really care?
Lots of people do.
So the
We
Frank,
really wanted him to go to the Titans, but that's okay.
the Frank list is fresh 5, the handout 5. And I like the way this is set up now. It's a little bit different format, even though it's the same acronym. This is something that I have now printed up and keep. The front seat of my car is my office, AKA I look like a homeless person. But this is something that when you're I do a lot of driving, but you need to have something that you can jot things down and refer to when these aha moments come to you. This Frank list really helps, and they tell us at every training that we go to at corporate, they always refer to the Frank list. To go and revisit this, and you're going to be adding people to it because in the meantime, you've met new people. So with handout number 5, you can see where we want to write down people that we know through this Frank list. So the F is friends, schoolmates, co-workers, networking groups. The R is relatives, siblings, aunts, cousins, in-laws. And some people have even gone with former in-laws that you still have a great relationship with. Acquaintances, the A, sitters, bank tellers, office workers, grocery store clerks. I think the acquaintances is if you stop and think about 1 week's time, where you go and who you talk to, the clerk at the grocery store, the dry cleaners, the bank tellers. Yeah, and you always want to go inside the banks. Once you become a consultant, don't do ATMs anymore.
And
Go inside the bank.
direct deposit.
Yeah, don't get direct deposit. I
I
don't.
don't have a choice.
Yeah, you just go in and go to different branches of your bank so that you're constantly meeting new people. Your hairdresser, your dentist, the people that work in your dental office. Acquaintances is huge. It's probably one of the biggest categories. The N, neighbors, next door, across the street, down the block. I would shy away from people that were in other direct sales businesses and particularly jewelry. But what I have found out in the 5.5 years that I've been doing Cookie Lee, nobody else on my block that were selling anything, whether it was another direct sales jewelry company or a product, a different company that sold house cleaning products or whatever, none of them have stuck with it. So I think unless they tell you not to, I think to keep them on that list, because it may be that all of a sudden now they are a little more interested in finding out about your business. And they maybe are embarrassed to ask you if they weren't successful in a different direct sales company. And then kids' parents, well, my kids are grown, but I have to go with grandparents, my grandkids, and people that they come in contact with, school, play groups, extracurricular activities. This probably isn't enough lines on this page to list all this. So I suggest that you photocopy this page and maybe make 5 or 6 copies of it, and every couple months bring it out and look at it and change it and add to it. Kathy?
I have to say that you did an amazing job.
Yay!
I really have to say that the flavor that she put into everything, it was just so much more than just reading it. So I hope you guys don't have high expectations for me.
Yeah.
There was
Okay.
a comment from Amanda.
Yes, Amanda said, much longer than 3 months. Since I started working, you have been there to help me as I was ready. Yeah.
Thank
So-
you, Amanda, my Georgia girl.
Boy, we did that all day. Aww. Okay, so are we gonna go through and complete a Frank list? I think we should.
Okay.
So everybody's got that handout, so let's just take a few minutes and you start to fill out those blocks right there, just the people that come to mind. You don't have to pull out any address book. Online, you could do that as well. So quiet. I should snack something. Who says girls don't eat?
Everyone's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends are already signed up.
Well, yeah, I was
New
going through
ones.
like Kathy.
You need more
That's
friends.
a big new one.
I need new friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then those are my ranks or inks.
And one thing I want to say about this Frank list that I've learned over the years is that when I first did this, I would stop and think, okay, I'll get in touch with her, I'll get in touch with her. And as I've gone, I've just written them down. I don't judge anymore. I don't prejudge. I just put down the name, and then I go ahead and I talk to them and let them decide, because you never
Really
know.
important.
You never, ever know.
Mm-hmm.
So, just don't prejudge. It's just, if the name comes, put it down.
And call them,
Exactly.
don't say I'll call them next week or
Exactly.
tomorrow or whatever, just
Exactly.
pick up the phone
Within
and call them.
24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, but if it's a relative, it has to be somebody you want to talk to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, well, we have those.
But doesn't Cookie Lee really
In a
make you do
different
that
category.
sometimes? You're like, oh, I need to call that person.
The
Huh?
comment
Recruiter.
for those of you online was if it's a relative, it has to be somebody that you want to talk to. I learned that by listening to a repeat or whatever, listen to that.
A recording.
Sometimes they can't hear you.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I think we have to repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you don't mind me helping you girls out. And
We're
boys.
helping.
Okay, so wherever you're at right now, let's choose the person on your Frank list who is most likely to say yes to our income opportunity. So look at those names you wrote down. And who is most likely to say yes? Just put a little star next to their name. And I want you to take this homework card piece of paper that I gave you, and on the back, I just want you to write their name, lifestyle, are they married, single, student, empty nester?
What does this handout look like?
It's
Just the back
it's
of
the
the
one that
front.
I passed out while you were here, homework card.
Right here.
And so just on the back, the name, lifestyle, married, single, student, empty nester, etc. If they have kids, what their kids' ages are. Does this person work? What do they do? Any outside interests? Well, I'm sure they have some. Do you know what they are?
I just started to write outside in.
Has she been a hostess for you before? And has she expressed an interest in becoming a consultant in the past? What do you think she loves about Cookie Lee Jewelry? Yes.
I don't know, are we gonna go over it, like, how, because first I'm thinking of is one of my cousins, who I just totally
Okay.
adore, but we don't talk that much on the phone, I mean, everything's on Facebook. And so, are we gonna go over, like, how do you approach without coming off like a vacuum salesperson? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Scripts in here.
I mean.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that. We're going to come up with different approaches and what we would do in person, over the phone, such like that. And you'll find something that works for you, the verbiage that works for you in all of this. But you are a vacuum cleaner salesman. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Like, I wanna be aggressive, but I don't wanna seem like I'm being
Right,
aggressive.
right. Okay, and so on the front of this homework card, look at these three columns that we have: offer, hesitation, and my response. And we're going to fill them in. So in the offer column, we want to offer the income opportunity. So fill in the column with, fill in the offer with income opportunity. Is somebody what? Oh, to me? Oh, hello. So under offer, fill in income opportunity, because this works for booking shows.
We're back on.
We're on the homework card, the front of the homework card. It was a handout that I passed out.
I have it.
Okay. So you wrote down the information that we're talking about this person on the back. And now on the front, the offer that we're going to make to her is about the income opportunity. So that's what you're writing under offer. Okay, so let's move to the second column, and that's the hesitations. Now, because we're thinking of one person in particular, you're going to know what her hesitations might be. So let's put down those hesitations. Go ahead and write down, in particular to that person, what you think her hesitations might be. This goes to being prepared for when you talk to her, because have you ever had that, conversation with somebody and they just totally one-upped you and they had the last word and you didn't think of a good response, and then 5 minutes later you go, I should have told her this. Well, if you walk into a conversation, either in an interview or on the phone, with the proper answers, knowing how to answer what you think her hesitations might be, then you'll have that. Not I should have. Okay, and so then we're going to write down what our responses are. Are we keeping you up?
Watch it there.
That's like my mother, she used to
I
say
have a
that.
sick child at home.
Yes.
So that's what I
And
said,
you're
watch
not well
it there.
yourself.
I'm not 100% myself.
Yes,
So
Okay.
hence my nice watch it there.
right, I know. So
I'm
we're
here
gonna
because I
talk
made a
about
commitment.
overcoming her hesitations before you get on the phone. And this will also help her make a decision to join Cookie Lee when you've helped her think of solutions to her hesitations. For example, let's say she says, I don't know who would schedule a home show for me. And you'll hear that often. You could look at the information you gathered about her occupation, outside interests, and children's ages and say, how about the ladies at work? Or what about the moms at soccer practice? If she told you that her kids were involved in soccer, then obviously that would be a good response. Doing your homework before you get on the phone is a great way to increase your recruiting. This homework card can also be used to book shows and sell more jewelry, and that's why it leaves it open on the offer. So it's something that you can print and off of the CBT from online and then just use over and over. Okay, so let's go. So you've written down her hesitations. Now let's look at some of the responses. And actually, here we go. Okay, so we gave you this version already, but let's say that she says she doesn't have enough time to be a consultant. And this is at CBT 6, page 4. Well, your response could be, how much time in a week would you have to give to your new business? Whatever the answer, translate it into home shows. For example, if she says she has 3 hours a week, you can say, great, that would allow you to do 1 home show a week where you're sure to earn at least $100. If I could show you a way to earn some extra money without adding another thing to your already busy schedule, would you be interested in starting your own Cookie Lee business? She could sell to coworkers, soccer moms, family, etc. It's not necessarily true that she has to plan out a full-time business schedule to be involved in Cookie Lee. So if we're showing her how she could work this around her own busy schedule, this might work for her.
Can you tell me what page you're looking at?
I'm sorry, it's CBT 6, number 4, and it's in
It says it on the bottom right.
On the bottom
in our
right.
first handout. The very first.
No, we're not.
Okay.
No, on the other one.
I don't know where you're being responsive.
You don't have that?
It's in the outline.
It's
Not
gonna
the
say
handouts.
6 and then 4.
They're not numbers,
Oh, yours didn't print off with numbers.
so I don't know which. Okay, so this is page 6 and 4?
That's funny that yours didn't print off with numbers.
Mine didn't either.
Huh,
Reach the bottom. Yeah. So that's page 4.
right.
Yeah, on the top it says,
Okay, okay.
trainer before you answer the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
See?
I love it. I'm just staring at it.
Are you in the right?
Okay, so if we have the hesitation, I don't have the money, how about exchanging clutter for a career and having a garage sale to get the money for your kit? I really like this idea. Naira had said this at one of our conventions, and we were like, yeah, everybody could be doing a garage sale to get the cash to purchase for option 2. Of course, now that we have option 1, that's very easy for someone to come up with the cash for that. So how much money do you have towards your startup costs? Whatever the answer, respond by saying you can collect orders to get the rest of the money, or we can do a kickoff show for you and the profits will go towards your startup costs. Does everybody here know what a kickoff show would be for a new consultant? Okay, well, for those of you who don't online, that would be where your sponsor would come and help you with the introductory show to all of your friends, and that would help you to earn the money for your investment. I have to talk to my husband first. Don't pay attention to that one. No, I'm kidding.
We're supposed to respect that.
Yes, I totally respect that.
Actually, the
I just have
husband-
lots of attorneys as friends. No, I'm kidding.
I think the husband is the one that's gonna give you the push because
Yeah.
they don't think about it. They look at it as an investment where we're emotional.
Exactly. We are
I
emotional
asked
and fearful.
my husband and he said, why not?
Yeah,
That's the same thing Petra's husband, he said go for it.
right. So I think that's where, I mean, we know that men are very different from women, but
Yeah.
men have a way of making a clear-cut decision, and if they thought it was something that was viable and credible, then their answer is going to be quickly to a yes. Whereas we're very fearful and just like, I don't know if I can do it. We're always thinking about the huge scope of it all instead of just that, we'll just take that investment and can I do this? So if somebody says I have to talk to my husband first, well, I respect that. Our most successful consultants are those who have support at home. That is really, really true. You need to have that support at home. If your husband's fighting you on this and has a problem with taking care of the kids and all of that, then it's going to be difficult for you. What questions do you think your husband will have about our income opportunity? That's important. Then she could take those business answers back to him. Give answers to those questions and then ask, when do you think you'll be able to talk to him about becoming a Cookie Lee consultant? When she tells you, reply with, great, I'll call you on whatever day that is to see what you've decided. That does put a little bit of a deadline on it, so she knows she does need to talk to him and not put it off till next week or 2 weeks from now or whatever. Those are just some of the hesitations, and what we're going to do in a little bit is we're going to go through our new hesitation cards. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Does everybody see how if you're just a little bit prepared, you can feel more confident, seem more confident when you're on the phone and talking this through? You're more likely to get a yes than to get a no if you have those confident answers. Let's see what's on here. Okay, my husband would wear my jewels if I let him all. Okay, Gina, no, I'm kidding.
TMI.
Yeah. No, her husband's very into the business, which is really awesome. That's very good to have that kind of support.
I think my husband enjoys just having me out of the house.
Oh! Her husband enjoys having her out of the house.
I think he really does.
And
Okay.
you like being out of the house.
Yes. Well, at least you're both on the same plane here. Okay, at your home shows, be sure to offer everyone there an opportunity to buy, host, and join. Those are the 3 opportunities. Invite them to watch what you do and see how easy it is to be a Cookie Lee consultant. Tell them you're always looking to add consultants to your team, and that can be nationwide. You're a nationwide recruiter because we don't have any territories. That's really unique about Cookie Lee, but it also makes you feel like, or you seem like, wow, she's somebody very important that she can recruit nationwide. Okay, use your table tents, which we don't have. Use a booking tree, which we hardly use. Okay, let's move on. But offer everyone the income opportunity at your checkout table. So I think in this training we do have the, do we have the checkout system in this training?
That's for shows.
For shows, okay, so we'll get into that, but that's where we're gonna offer all of the opportunities while somebody's checking out as well. Even though we did that during our mini commercial at the show, we wanna make sure that we offer it again. And bring several recruiting packets to a show. So the biggest part of this is you wanna make it a habit to identify at least 2 people at each show that you wanna follow up with and get to a recruiting interview. That recruiting interview is very important. That one-on-one after she's left the show with some excitement about what you did, most times people are not going to walk up to you and say, hey, pick me, I want to do this. It's sort of like that reserved, like, well, maybe I could, I'm not really sure, but I don't want to embarrass myself by walking up to her and asking if I could do this. But if you find somebody that you think, wow, she's got a great smile, she can talk to people, she's funny, she's really good looking, you know, she wears the jewelry well, or she just simply loves jewelry, then that's somebody that you would want to compliment in that fashion, follow up with her, and get her to a recruiting interview. After all, people join for all kinds of reasons. It doesn't have to be that they need the income, and that could be where prejudging comes in. You know, we think, well, somebody doesn't need to join because they really don't need to work. A lot of people need to work because they need to be with other people. They need to have a social outlet. It's not really about the income. It might be that they love to do fundraisers, and what better way to give back more of a percentage than to be a consultant yourself and donate your profits. Okay, so we don't want to prejudge on that, but we do want to pick at least 2 people from each show and make sure we follow up with them to get them to a recruiting interview. And you might want to let them know that it wouldn't take more than an hour. I would probably say more than a half hour, 45 minutes. No obligation. Is that what you say, Tricia?
I say-
Half hour?
Yeah.
Yeah. No obligation or pressure to decide anything. I'll answer all your questions about Cookie Lee, my personal business, etc. And if I don't know the answer, I'll find that out for you. What are we chuckling about in the back over
We
there?
have for like half the day.
Oh, half a
Oh,
day.
yeah, well, you
Well,
say
she-
half hour, but you
she
block
can
open
talk.
as much time as you want.
She can talk. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to break off into to a mock recruiting interview that's going to be held by Trisha and Lisa. And yay! And
She's
so
already in the
you're going
bag,
to be
so it'll
able
be
to
easy.
see. Now I will say that Trisha is just the master at this. So
hard to get.
yeah, play
I
hard to get,
feel-
Lisa. Play hard to get.
Come on, Lisa.
I'll try.
So, Lisa, why don't you move your
I
chair
feel
over
pressure.
here so that we can make sure this
Do I
is
need a
recorded?
pen?
I don't know. Whatever you think you need.
Okay, so my recruiting packet's gonna have a meet me for free cup of coffee, a chat, and a free piece of jewelry.
Oh,
I don't know if we're
I don't
gonna-
want coffee.
Okay, how about a chai or a glass of wine?
Wine.
Because I also say, would you like to meet for a glass of wine or a cup of coffee?
Trade me seats.
Mhm.
Say that again now. What?
On my actual recruiting packet, I have a sticker. So, like when I hand you, when I'm at a show, and we've established enough of a rapport that I want to talk to you some
Right.
more. And I 9 times out of 10 will get you to verbally say, yeah, I'll meet you for a cup of coffee or a
Right.
glass of wine.
Right.
And in all honesty, I prefer coffee. Shocker. Jeez, who knew I'd confess to such terribleness?
Just tonight, because you're not feeling well.
Right,
Yeah,
I see it in my
she's not
cheeks.
herself.
My sticker on the little packet that I give them, which is really fluff because it's also in the catalog, it just says, meet me for a cup of coffee and I'll give you a free piece of jewelry. Just to remind them. And then it has a date and time. And it's on the team of Kathy's website. And then I can just write it down for them, right? And so then I've got it and they've got it and it's an appointment.
So
Right.
when you have that the sticker, does it have like a blank line that you write in the
Mhm.
date?
It's
you do
pink.
like,
I
right
print
there
it in
with
pink.
them? Okay.
Yeah, and it's on the website. So if you go to our team
Okay.
website, it's
The
there.
jewels.
I don't know what it's titled. Mine's
It's
and
under
my
resources, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, it's probably under our last fresh cookie can.
okay. On my computer, I think it's titled "Meet Me for a Cup of Coffee."
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
just like a label.
it. Is it's truly just a label. It's a
Okay.
it's a 1 by 2
Okay.
label, or maybe it's a 2 by 3. I can't remember right now.
2 by 3.
Okay.
It is a 2 by 3, and it just says "Meet me for a cup of coffee" and or a free cup of coffee, and I'll bring you a free piece of jewelry, date and time.
Okay.
My jewelry.
Excuse me. What?
Where's my jewelry?
I'm gonna get it to bed.
Just getting abused tonight. I don't think I've dished it out.
Trisha, what piece of jewelry do you offer?
Cookie outlet.
Anything.
What
yeah.
piece of jewelry do you offer?
I
Is
almost
the
never
question.
do that specifically, but yeah, anything I've gotten for free in the past. I actually try, if it's someone I know that I've spent any time talking to or they've been a hostess, I try to a little bit tailor it to them, right? Because I want them to be excited about getting something.
Okay.
Sometimes that's not the case, and so it's usually a bracelet, to be honest with you,
Okay.
right? Because they're less expensive, they're not, you know, you don't know if they're a pendant person or a statement necklace person, and I, you know, like Vicky said, she thought everyone thought like her. I thought everyone wore pierced ears, but apparently that's not the case either. So, yeah. Wow, I feel like I've got the split
Thank
thing
you.
going here. Okay. So, do you want to talk about this? Or you want me to?
No, go ahead.
All right. So, everyone has this in their training, I think, or has the opportunity to have it in their training. It basically, in more eloquent, well-written words, is going to say what I'm going to say through the whole event, so you don't have to scratch real fast and furiously unless you are someone that learns that way. Almost at the end of every section, so when it says step 1, it gives you like the line you're going to say. Now, when I was going through and preparing for this training tonight, I was like, oh, I don't say it as well as this. So when you hear me say, because I know I'm just going to spiel, I think there are places, like I think that step 3, I am never that eloquent on that. And so I think that's a great way to say it, which are most important. You'll hear what I say. I'll try to say it like that. And then my other thing I'm going to say, which I don't think they specifically say, is that when you see me roll through these cards, you may not consciously know it, but I am checking in through each point of the card and at the end of each card. In the sales industry, it's called a trial close. I'm getting you to go like this. But it's also an important time for me to know where the hang-ups are going to be at the end of the...
Oh, are you going to show us that? How
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing
yeah,
that? Okay, very good.
But I'm just saying, in case you're not catching that, the reality is, I remember when I was training Gina, she's like, but you're not checking in. I'm like, yeah, I've been checking in and you've been going like this the whole time.
Okay.
So, just so you know, and when she goes like this, we'll spend time visiting it. I will tell you, I'm a huge proponent. There are things in Cookie that we all find that speak to us personally. These cards are an incredible tool, I think. I've held very few recruiting interviews without these. And if I've recruited someone, I still go back and make sure we bump through them at some time, even if after they've signed on the dotted line, because I tend to be verbose. I know that's a shock to you all. And I can get off track pretty easily. So the cards are great because they keep me on time and on target. And they also show everyone, specifically who you're recruiting, how easy it is. Because the very first recruiting interview sat down, which literally I had a recruiting interview, I don't know, 48 hours after Kathy signed me up with a woman that my husband took catalogs into work and she said, I want to talk to your wife. And I had no idea. I mean, like none, right? So I pulled these cards out and went through them. She's one of the few women that did not sign up with me.
Revisit her.
Yeah, no, we've revisited a lot. Her husband is always her stumbling block. And I think he goes something like, sure, baby, if you're going to make me and come back. And I think she's just not sure she can make that commitment. But at some point, she may be able to. But that's why I use these cards, and that's why I think they're an incredible tool. Now, if I know you at all, I'm going to pull out this food card, which is our acronym for family, occupation, outside interests, and dreams. There are women that we meet, right? And within a very short amount of time, we sit down and we are recruiting them. I prefer to actually know some information about you if I can. It doesn't always happen. So I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to say, Lisa, before we start talking really about Cookie Lee, I'd like to learn a little bit about you. Now, I know we've only agreed to be here for about a half hour or for 2 glasses of wine, maybe 4 for you.
You know me already.
There you go. So what I'd like to do, just so that we're know a little bit more about you, is to talk a little bit about this card. And I think I've already said this to you, but we're using these cards because they're an incredible tool. They keep me on time and on target, and they're going to be able to make sure we have an outline and we can get through everything and every question you have. If at the end you're not clear, we can go back and visit anything, and there's lots of room for you to ask questions.
Okay, watch me. She's already got me.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about family. Do you have family?
Yes,
You do.
I do.
You going to tell me a little bit about her, or is that a secret yet?
Well, yeah, I'm married, and my husband and I are empty nesters, but I have 3 kids, 2 of whom are one's made me a grandma already, and then I'm gonna be a grandma again.
That's right. And May. That's
Yep.
right. So soon. And do we know if you're having a boy or a girl?
Girl.
Okay. So we're going to go on for about 5 minutes like this, right? We're going to talk about, so what do you do for a living?
You want to know?
Sure. We'll do it quick.
I own my own business. I'm in property management.
Oh, great. So do you have flexibility to work in other things? Do you meet lots of people? Tell me a little bit about
Absolutely. Have a lot of time. I drive a lot. I meet a lot of people, and I'm busy, but I do have free time.
that. And obviously you wear the jewelry already incredibly well, and you have really a nice style about you. So
Thank you.
that's going to work really to your
Great.
advantage. We'll see. We'll talk about that, but it really
Alright.
is. Okay, so tell me, we've talked a little bit about your family. We know you're going to be a grandma. You're a hot grandma. And we know that you own your business. Tell me a
Flattery,
little
I
bit
won't
about
take
what
it
other
back.
outside interests you have.
I like to wear jewelry. I like to go on trips.
You like to move in the rain.
Family's really big to me. It's my priority.
Okay.
So I need to have time for my family.
Okay, great. Okay, so you see, I mean, we've done this fairly quickly. I will sometimes jump in, but I won't even try selling her the business right now. I didn't sell her the business in any way. I just went, okay, interesting, okay. We have great trips, and you can do whatever your style is, but I don't. So then here is our next step. We're going to pull out our cards. and we're going to talk about these cards. Now, this is where I think this is so great because what I do is I lay them out like this, and I say, I'm going to lay these cards out because remember, we're trying to stay on topic. And I want you to pick the card that you think is most interesting or maybe just the oddest title. Now, I kind of do that because this says what's your most important to talk about, and I think that that's a scary term, what's most important, because like if I'm really broke, I might not want you to know I'm really broke, right? Or if I really hate my husband, I might not really want you to know that. So I shy away from important, but if you don't want to say anything silly like what you like most or not, I came up with the word what card is most intriguing. Because then that's not too scary, right? It's not the most important thing to you. We all are going to find out what the most important thing to her is in no time at all. So what's most intriguing?
How about fun?
Fun. I love fun. Okay, so we're going to turn it over, and we're going to talk a little bit about our dream getaway trips, our fashion week, our team meetings, and our friends, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, I know you told me you love to travel, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You can do that with Cookie Lee?
You can.
Oh my god.
In fact, I've been doing Cookie Lee for 2 years now, a little over 2 years, and I'm getting ready to go on my second trip, and I'm a third of the way to earning my third trip.
Oh my god.
So our first trip was a cruise to the Mediterranean. I mean, mind-blowing. Our second trip we're getting ready to go to is a 5-star resort in Puerto Rico, and I know since you're having your second glass of wine, it's okay for me to tell you I plan to sit on the beach and drink and read.
Oh, can I go?
We can work on getting a big suitcase.
Okay, great.
And then next year we're taking a cruise on the largest ship in the world to the Caribbean.
Okay,
So,
I think I want to go there.
yeah?
Yeah.
Have you been there before?
No,
Me neither. And this will only be my second cruise. Have you ever cruised before?
I have not cruised before.
All right, so
I
we can be
would
beginners
really like
together.
To do that. That would be fun.
Wouldn't it be fun? And this is
Yeah.
really doable. Our
Fun.
trip, we start earning it at the beginning of January, so you're right there at a great time.
Awesome.
Any questions about the DGT or the Dream Getaway trip?
How do you get there?
Do you mean like, do I fly, swim, or row a boat?
Yeah.
Walk on water.
How do I earn it?
Okay, you earn it through a combination.
How did I know that phrase? Earn.
Or win it,
Just
earn it,
because.
doesn't matter.
Earn, win, yeah.
Well, you can earn it in a multitude of ways. That's the great thing about our company. One of the things I forgot to ask you is, have you ever done a direct sales company before? Okay, so I had never either until I got involved in this. So terminology was really foreign to me. But again, if there are women that have been down this road before, they're going to kind of know some terminology, and so you can jump right in, right? Because we all, within a very short amount of time, the shortcuts become part of our vernacular. So, laughing at me.
No, we said it at the same
Same
time,
time.
vernacular.
That's why we like each other. It is.
I just fell down.
Okay. Excuse me. So,
I'm liking this fun stuff because you're kind of fun.
thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
You know what, my team, you think, I know, we're not going to talk about
Yeah,
this yet.
Lisa.
We're going to talk about,
I'm too easy, huh?
No, she's not. I pride myself on losing almost no one that gets to this, so. Team meetings are a ton of fun, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. I want to finish up here with Dream Getaway, and then we'll go there. And also, I want to tell you something that I didn't know because I'd never done direct sales. Team is incredibly important, and our team is not only the fastest growing team in the United States, but we are so super fun.
We rock.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God. If you like
But
me,
what about
you're going to like the
meetings?
women way more. Okay.
I don't
All right.
like meetings. I have way too many meetings.
Okay,
as it
so
is.
we're going to ditch the meetings, but we're going to talk about that in 1 second. I just want to say you can earn your Dream Getaway trip via sales, recruiting, and attending fun events like going to Vegas or Anaheim.
Okay.
Okay?
Recruiting?
That's one of those terms that you probably don't know a whole lot about.
No.
All that really means is that after you get in and you see how much fun we're having and how much income you're making and how many cool women you've met, when you start meeting other cool women, you can share the business with them. It's
See how
nothing
I'm nodding
scary.
my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so have we covered in brief the Dream Getaway trip?
I think so.
And remember,
Sounds like
this little
fun.
book I've given you will talk about anything. So when we're done, you can look it over and give me a call on any questions. And we're going to spend a lot of time together when we first start. As much
Really?
time as you want to spend with me.
Okay.
If you never want to see me again, that's okay too. So let's talk about Fashion Week, because that's one of those really fun things where you're going to go, oh my gosh. Fashion Week is not really a week, so don't get scared. Fashion Week happens like the last weekend of July, first weekend of August, and we go away for a couple nights. And anything you want to get from an event, you're going to get from this event. So if you're there just to party and have a good time with all your girlfriends, you're so going to get that. If you want to go and get training, you don't think so?
I don't know about that.
You don't think you get enough of that?
Go ahead.
If you're there to get trained, you're going to be trained. If you're there to be inspired, you're going to be inspired. And I know that sounds schmarmy. And remember, I'd never done this before. And I went.
I love it when she says
I like that word.
It's true. It's schmarmy. It's like tchotchke and schmarmy. Yeah. Okay. And we get sidetracked. Hence my cards. So, are there questions about Fashion Week you have?
Where is it? Did you say?
This year it's in Anaheim. The last 2 years it was in Las Vegas.
So that's
Do you
not
like
too
Vegas?
far to drive. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, good. It was fun in Vegas. I think it's going to be more fun in Anaheim because I am easily distracted. And so I think there will be less distractions and more just
Yeah.
girl time.
And it's close.
And they treat
And
you
it's
much
super
nicer.
close.
And
And
what
they
is
treat
it?
you much nicer.
They treat you in the hotels much nicer.
Yeah,
in
like we're
Anaheim.
celebrities.
Explain what
Yeah,
Fashion
In
Week
Vegas,
is.
we're just another.
Right.
Not nobody's.
Number.
The
It's not a week long.
launching,
It's
the launching
oh,
of the jewelry. and-
it's not important at this point, to be honest with you. I mean, you can do that
Okay,
in your thing. I mean, if she wants to know that, but right now she already gave me that.
okay, so Nicole,
It-
just so you know, launch, we have 2 catalogs come out a year, and so it's when they basically launch all their new arrival, all their new catalog items, and they're able to have them on display, we can touch and feel and see them before they're even available to us to purchase.
So Fashion Week
And
is the same thing
trainings.
as launch?
Launch is the regional event that happens in January, and Fashion Week
Oh,
happens in August, and it's nationwide.
Oh,
And
so
they've
it's two
changed
different
it a little bit now, so you can actually buy the jewelry right before you go if you're going to go, and then it's actually available. I believe our first or second day there. Like if we roll in Thursday or Friday, it's available like Saturday. So you don't have to actually go. You want to go and touch the jewelry if you can, but really you go for so many other reasons than just that. I mean, that's a huge part of it, but it's not the only reason. It really is about training, friendship, and inspiration.
Fashion Week is?
Yeah.
Yeah, recognition. I mean,
Recognition,
Big
absolutely.
recognition.
I would say it's the glue for all the components to this business.
Absolutely.
You can learn all these different things, but it doesn't come together until you go to Fashion Week.
And you see
Yes.
everybody that
So
comes together and how successful. they
Beautiful.
are.
I'm going to add that. I'm going to say that.
The glue.
So Fashion Week, actually, I think our team is the glue,
Yeah.
but our Fashion Week,
So
because our team's also the glue,
Yeah.
I think, but Fashion Week is also the glue. I think that's
Yeah.
great, and I will say that now. Okay,
Yeah, 'cause
so
Fashion Week, you get to meet our team members that are online.
I know.
Yes.
That's what's
Yeah.
so cool.
So what's
Okay.
the difference between launch and Fashion Week?
one's national, one's regional.
Yeah, Fashion Week is
Oh, okay.
everyone at one time.
So the whole nation
The
is
whole
in
nation.
Anaheim.
The whole nation.
Whereas the other one had 5 or 6 different
Regions.
cities in the
Oh, the
country.
whole nation comes to Anaheim
Yes.
for Fashion
Uh-huh.
Week?
Well,
So-
you know,
Yeah.
it's not compulsory, but yes.
Yes.
Wow.
It's only
So are
one.
we just like fortunate that it's in our state and not
Yes.
like
Yes.
Maine
That's where it
or something?
started.
Very.
Yes.
Incredibly.
Yes.
Yes. We are very fortunate.
And
Okay.
product launch is also sort of a mini version. It's done regionally, and it's really done by the regional leaders, whereas the Fashion Week is a corporate sponsored
Okay.
event. So it's bigger, bolder, you know.
Better, more
Easier.
training.
Yeah, and
more
longer.
Inspiration.
Yeah, so it's 3 days versus day and a half kind of thing.
Okay. But in both they launch a new catalog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we only have 2 catalogs here.
Right.
Okay.
Kathy, do you have any insight to where we go next?
I only know what everybody else knows, that we're going to Anaheim. Hopefully, you know, I think it should stick around for a while for there, but I don't know. Let's get back to that.
Okay, and so here we go. And this is why, again, we follow these. And now we've spent a lot of time here, which means we might not spend a lot of time elsewhere, or we might.
I must say though, yours is so good. That's
Thank
why
you.
I'm just
See?
like, I have questions.
She
You're
is.
like,
She is
you're
so
full of
good.
knowledge.
She's always going to do this training. She's so good.
I really believe in these cards, and I
Yeah.
think all you do is when you first start Kinsey, you go through and you might have 2 sentences about Dream Getaway, right? I'm going this year. And you can come with me and we're gonna go together. Those are your like 2 sentences, right? And you go, do you understand? And they go, I don't know about points. And you say, you know what? I know you need a certain amount of points. They're right here in this literature, and you and I can find out more questions that when we get to the end.
Okay.
Okay, because you don't want to get too bogged down in details.
Right.
Because remember, there's buzzing in the ears. Remember, there was buzzing in your ears just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, right?
There still is too.
Right,
I'm
there you go.
I still don't know enough about points. You know?
So here you go.
Yeah.
You're going to be so great because the longer there's buzzing, the better you're going to be. I'm sure of it.
And you're finding out, she's finding out what's important to me, so she's going to be able to hit on those subjects.
Right, I already know traveling is, and so we spent a little bit of time talking about that, right? But really, I honestly try to stay away from as many details. I mean, not that I'm trying to hide anything. It's just that, you know, right now, 31,000 points might sound overwhelming, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that
just
number always
doesn't matter.
sounded fairly doable, but I didn't never know what it meant, right?
Once you know how to earn the points, it seems more
Right.
doable
There you
than,
go.
like,
Exactly.
kind of abstract when
Right.
you don't know how
So
to-
the important thing is to know, even if you think I'm something different than I am, that I already have a third, and actually it's closer to a half of my trip earned, right? So that's an important, that's all you need to know is I have almost half my trip or a third of my trip earned.
Mhm.
And we started earning in January.
And
Right.
what,
Sales and
something,
recruiting.
something you could say about the trip when even when you've never been on one, is that we take more people on a trip than any other company. This is not for the top 25 people. This is for
Yeah.
anybody in the company can earn this.
Mhm.
The points don't matter. We move on from that.
And those are those recruiting questions you get when people have been involved in direct sales before. If you have
Somewhere
not, you have no idea, right?
Yeah.
You just are sort of like, okay, I'm going on a trip.
Yeah.
Is
Let's
it like
go.
rollover kind of like if you're doing just like exceptional and you max out your 31 whatever points in,
And then you can work
you
on
know
the
the
next
extra.
You can work on a second
Oh.
ticket. Okay? So you can bring
So
a
yeah, you
guest.
can just roll over,
Yeah.
Nicole.
You
Just
can,
roll
you can
over.
bring a guest.
Okay.
And anything you earn towards that guest will be prorated. You could earn the whole ticket or a part of the ticket.
Oh,
Okay.
really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah. It does that. Right. In her case, it will
I
not be
should
her
recruit her.
husband.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Lisa and I were just talking. Nicole, why don't you come here and let's talk? I'll recruit you.
Oh my goodness.
Come on. Get on over. Good idea, Lisa.
Come on, Nicole.
Come on, Nicole.
Because then we don't know what's coming.
Here, right here, hon.
Start on over. Start over.
I will.
You're so great.
Everyone in the world is watching.
So remember, our team is
Not
fun,
everybody in the world.
and we're not judgmental.
Okay, but you're not.
Okay, so here we are. We are going to start over for a second, really quickly. What's my time on this, Kath?
You go. This is the most important part of the whole thing.
Okay, and we're really cold. Hi, Nicole. I'm Trisha.
Hi, Trisha.
Hi. I know we've really never met before.
Explain for the
I really
people
don't
online
bite.
what's happening.
This fine.
I don't think they
Okay.
know
Oh,
this
if you
is
guys don't know,
She's
Nicole
been
is a
planning
guest of Christine's, and we're going to recruit her. No, really, there's no pressure. And you can walk away and go, those women are crazy. And I'll put you in touch with the 2 other women I haven't successfully recruited. With that in mind, can I get you a glass of water or a glass of wine?
I'm fine right now.
Okay, that's
Thank
fine. Okay, so if this were a real thing, I would hand you, I would say, I know you've got a catalog, but I want to give you another one because you're going to want to read the back of it probably later on today. I'm also going to hand you this little piece of information. It just talks about the fun stuff. It's bullet points, that kind of stuff. And there's a little piece of jewelry in here for you. So, whenever I say touch your packet, it's got the compensation plan in it. It's got stuff that you're going to want to look at. And we can spend as much time on it as you want. But I do know we're on some deadline because we all want to go home and go to bed tonight. Because, yes, we could spend all night here. So, Nicole, let's go ahead and start with food. Tell me, do you have family? Who are your family?
Yes, I do. I'm married with 2 boys, 5 and 11. And actually, we are just moving to California from overseas.
Oh,
So we only been here about 2 months.
excellent. I'm a boy mom, too. Mine are little still. So I'll call you when I need help with the bigger ones. Where from overseas?
Bahrain, Middle East.
Okay, and are you from there originally or are you from here?
No, we're from Florida.
Okay, so you've just been over military?
Military family.
Traveling.
Traveling.
So what's
Yeah,
that like
we're on
over
the West
there?
Coast. Very hot in the summer. Gets to about 120. So it's very hot, but it was very, very nice. Kind of kick and scream going, but it's kind of spoiled.
How long were you there?
2 years.
I think it'd be really amazing. I mean, I know moving's not easy, but I do think it'd
It's
be
probably more
amazing to
different
learn.
than anybody can imagine your thought. It's just like California.
Wow.
Westernized, every restaurant.
Really?
I've heard that.
Yes.
Wow.
I've actually heard that from other military families. And what about your boys? Did they go to military? Did they go to school on base, or did they?
Yes, on base, Department of Defense School. Yep.
But what is their general thought about it all?
My oldest did not care too much about it because it was just bringing back family, so he didn't have a lot of friends.
Mm.
And then outside, they love outside, but everything was kind of like compounds.
Oh, right.
So
Oh.
I had a few kids to play with, and you just don't let your children go outside in the Middle East like that. So.
Talk about
I kind of get that.
a whole different thought about freedom, huh? Right? I mean, we talk about freedom in this big nebulous, but the kids are like, I'm talking freedom as in this was my compound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really an interesting.
And it also intrigues you to really count your blessings because you see a lot of third country that's kind of underprivileged, or so it was. It makes you count your blessings.
And then I'm also going to say right now, just because this is fascinating to me, I would say I want to know about the women. Like, did you get out and meet other non-military and I mean, like the Middle Eastern women? Did you meet any of them?
Yes and no. You really don't speak to the locals as much. But like I said, the third country, Indian, Asians.
Oh,
Is
okay.
more the
So
people you would interact with.
still very multicultural.
Very multicultural. You would be amazed. Arabics are actually the minority
Oh my
in
gosh.
the Middle East.
Really?
Yes.
Is that just because everyone comes from everywhere else?
Yep.
Things you learn, huh?
Fascinating.
That is fascinating.
Yes.
I definitely want to hear more about this some other time for sure because I
Yes.
think it's just really, really interesting. So do you work outside the home?
No, I'm not working. Thank God.
No, honey. You're working. You're raising two boys. I know that.
Yeah.
I did for 20 years. I retired from the military.
Oh,
so
good for you.
I'm taking a break right now to be with my boys.
And what did you do in the military?
I was a Navy counselor,
Oh,
like professional development for the sailors.
okay. All right. So you did a little problem solving in your past life.
Yes.
Well, the great thing about Cookie Lee is we still problem solve, but it's all about what piece of jewelry to wear where with what shirt. So if you're good at problem solving, you're going to have no problem. You can! And I'm saying that with a straight face. I tell people that all the time. You know, I'm a lawyer in my life by day sometimes when I absolutely have to be. And I tell people it's not much different. I'm solving problems. It's just that the problems I solve with Cookie Lee are such happier problems.
Yeah.
So you'll have much the same experience. Okay, so we've talked a lot about your travel and your family. A little bit. Tell me a little bit about your outside interests.
Outside interest. Right now, I don't know how to do it myself because I'm not working. I feel like just a taxi right now because I take the boys to school, do little things, and come back and get them. So
Are they
I'm
doing
just
lots of
kinda-
sports?
They are in baseball right now, just to get to meet families and friends. Because, like I said, it's first time here. We don't know anyone.
And-
now I know you all. But,
Where in San Diego do you live? I'm sorry, I didn't
we're
get that.
over in the Lemon Grove area.
Okay, and so how did you meet Christine?
I met Christine at medical. Well, we call it medical at Dr. Office. She's the pharmacist.
So you were just in saying hi, and she said hi back, or you were getting a prescription?
Yeah, my
Come
number was,
with me.
my number was called 213.
Your number was up!
Oh, your number was called.
Well, her number was up! All right. So,
for your meds, take a look at this.
Yeah.
So-
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start parking my butt over at.
no
the pharmacy.
kidding.
While
Seriously.
you're waiting for your meds.
Really? So here's the beautiful thing. You do know that you can put Cookie Lee into anything because she can give you a prescription and a pair of earrings. Okay, so we've made light of all of this, but tell me, like, what are you, I mean, you don't know anyone, so I'm guessing part of the interest here is not only because you think she's lovely and charming and she's managed to woo you to this event, but also you have something other that you're interested in, meeting people.
Meeting people, finding something to do with my spare time. I can definitely use some extra income because I'm so used to making my own money. So that's kind of something I'm trying to figure it out. And don't really know what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm okay right now, but this seems like something I could fit into my schedule.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm glad we chatted a little bit, and I definitely would like to chat some more. But I do know in the interest of time. I mentioned to you that we're going to use these cards. Now, these cards are meant nothing to be but a tool, and they keep me on time, like I said, and they also keep both of us on track because questions will pop into your head, and then you can voice them and we can get back to them. And so I'm going to lay these out, and sometimes they strike me as a little bit silly, but really you can pick the card that you think is most intriguing or strangest title, whatever, and we can start there. It doesn't really matter to me. Whatever's most fun. All right, let's do it. Okay. We've bumped through fun, right, because we started with Lisa, and we talked about Dream Getaway, Fashion Week. We talked a little bit about team meetings. We have team meetings that are every month. Did you have a lot of team meetings, or not team, but a lot of meetings when you were in corporate
Yes.
or military?
Actually, I came to California twice for a big conference at somewhere down there by the hotel circle.
Somewhere down there. Do you know in San Diego, you never live more than 20 or 25 minutes from anything, so you can't say somewhere down there very much with a straight face soon. Well, let me tell you, our team meetings, again, you know my background a little bit, but if I had started every
Should I
meeting
just
the
pick
way...
another one?
Sure. Yes.
Just
Because
do
you don't
this
really
one?
need to hear it. Yes, ladies, she doesn't need to hear about fun because she knows!
Yeah, she's living it. She's in it.
Break up this contrast card.
Excuse me.
Fun.
Card.
All right, we know, fun. So no questions about fun. You're in, you got it. Okay, so let's talk about time, simple, money, or support.
Let's try simple.
Simple. I think that one's such an interesting card. Okay, so you've met Christine, but you've not been to a Cookie Lee show? Is that true?
No, I have not.
Okay, have you done many kind of drug sales shows?
Yes, I have.
You've been involved in them. Have you done hosting?
Not really.
No, just gone.
Just kind of signed up and that was it. Mary Kay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, truth comes out. The cards always bring it out. Okay, that's all right. We don't pass judgment. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so no presentation. If you've been to a lot of shows, then you know sometimes some companies like Pampered Chef, they do amazing things, right? But if they don't make a presentation, you have no idea what the heck's going on. You see a big pile of food on some plate, and you're like, oh no.
Right.
Well, the beautiful thing about Cookie Lee is that we have no presentation. The jewelry's there. You see it. It's beautiful. You have to say nothing, literally. In fact, my our big team manager, she will say all the time that she's really shy. I don't believe her. And when you meet her, it will be hard for you to believe it.
Right.
But she is reserved. She is reserved. And so one of the reasons that she says that she's starting our company was that she wouldn't have to do anything. Now, what I will tell you is if you take 2 or 3 minutes during the meeting, or not the meeting, but the show, you will increase everything. So it's something you might want to do, but it's absolutely not required. You don't strike me as someone that struggles with that. No, a little bit? Oh, okay, so good to know. So trust me, really, you don't have to do any presentation. If and when you get comfortable doing such, we'll help you figure out how to do that, okay?
Thank
Does that sound good to you? Okay, good, good.
Took me a year and a half to talk to anybody, but I'm still here.
That's the one thing I was telling Christine. I was just like,
it's just gonna be so easy.
It is.
It is.
It is very easy.
I mean, we all have our moments in our head, right? But if we can get out of our head, it's not hard.
Yes.
I mean, trust me, there are times at 10 o'clock in the morning you can call me and I will say to you, rah! But really, it's not hard.
So Nicole, what were you gonna say?
that was the one thing I was telling Christina, just like, I don't feel like bothering people. Like,
Yes.
knocking on the door, not so much knocking on the door, because I know you have Facebook and all different kind of things to try to, you know, network, but just that, I don't know, I don't want to ask, because I'm always feeling like people are just so busy and don't have that time. And
Okay, so that's a
That's
really
what I'm-
valid,
Look at what she did.
I know, but she might not be comfortable there, right?
Called sharing the opportunity.
Okay,
Yeah.
Go
so,
more
all
to
right,
that, too.
let me go here. Okay, so I think that's really important. Okay, so, you know, one of the things is that, you know, we've been busy having fun, and so, and I didn't pre-qualify you, so I don't know that you're kind of quiet and reserved, and therefore I might be really overwhelming to you. But you don't have to make a presentation, and the beautiful thing about Cookie Lee is that it's your own business, and you really can do it in your own time, in your own style, and your own comfort zone. So you do not have to knock on a door. Can I tell you something? I've never knocked on a door. And I'm not just saying that because, And there are sisters of mine, I'm sure, that have. I've never knocked on doors. I've never thrown a catalog on someone's front porch and hoped someone's called me.
Right.
Never. Our company doesn't even suggest that as a business model particularly. But if it's something that you want to do, you can.
Right.
But I've never done it. They don't ask it. I also am never on Facebook. It's maybe the worst and stupidest thing in the world, but I'm not. I choose to not be there. I have a Facebook page. I just don't do much there. I'm just not there. So you don't need to do that. And you don't have to ask, like as in, hi, will you come spend money with me? We're going to give you tools to say things so that you don't feel uncomfortable and you don't make the person standing next to you feel uncomfortable. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think, have I answered that? Because it sounds like that's probably really
Yeah, you've answered it. I have the people that I could reach out to, but just approaching, because military women, not to like stereotype, or spouses, I should say, they love. I mean, that's how I got introduced to Pamper Chef, Prince's House, and blah blah blah. I mean, it's all kind of shows I've never, and I have a big network back in Bahrain because there's still friends there that I know probably love it, but it's just trying to reach them but like you said, support. So.
And something that you may not know, I'm a military wife. I reach out.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I am
no,
too.
But what I'm saying is
I just know.
that you can ship to APO, FPO
Yes.
addresses, which is really,
Yes.
really nice. And they can still recruit because they are part of the United States. So as long as you have an APO and FPO, it's good to go. They can be in Spain, they can be in Costa Rica, they can be in
They can be where?
Anywhere.
Costa Rica.
Yeah, and you can still recruit them.
Yeah,
As
they
long
all
as they have
do.
an APO, FPO, they're part of us. So.
Well, we have a team member in Japan,
Yes.
Zanita,
Uh-huh.
who was
Okay.
here, and she went to Japan.
Let me go back to what you're saying now. I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to tell you one thing I'm going to tell you for sure is we're going to, if you decide to join us, we're going to have a kickoff show. And really, all you're going to do is hostess, and I'm going to do all of the scary things for you. So they're going to come in, and we're going to shake hands, and you're going to introduce me, and we're just going to have a fun night. And when that night's done, you're going to have shows on your calendar. So we'll book shows out of that. So you won't even have to do the hard stuff first, right? I'm going to help you do any of that.
Good.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Because you're telling me you have a community. You're just telling me you're a little uncomfortable going out there. So really, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna stand next to you, shoulder to shoulder, and we're gonna show everyone what a good time we're gonna have. We're gonna sell lots of jewelry. We're gonna have fun.
All right.
Does that sound good?
Yes.
Yes. She's like, yes. Okay, let's talk shows, boutiques, and fundraisers. One of the great things about our company is that our business model and our gross margin, which we can talk about in a minute, enables us to really do all sorts of great kinds of shows, right? So a lot of the pampered chefs and things like that, because of their gross profit, it's not really comfortable for them necessarily to do a fundraiser. It's not really easy to do a trunk show or a boutique show when you have to actually do a presentation. Because of our business model, we can do any and all of those. So like your boys are playing baseball. If you need to raise money for All Stars or any of that, we have some great little pieces of jewelry that are like no-brainer. And they're a great way to kind of get in and get involved without asking any questions that are too scary. Any questions about fundraisers or any of that? And then wearing the jewelry. Obviously, you're already wearing jewelry, so you like jewelry. Is that true?
Yes.
Well, that's easy, because if you like jewelry, it's an easy thing to get into, right? I liked jewelry also, so it was like a no-brainer for me. But there are teammates that never wore much jewelry that wear jewelry now. You just wear the jewelry and it sells itself. So you know how you've said you're slightly uncomfortable with that. It's hard when there's an audience. With making the approach,
Right.
well, your jewelry does all the talking for you, right? You carry a bag, you're wearing the jewelry. Again, my team manager once told me that jewelry is the #1 most complimented thing a woman can wear. So if we're wearing our jewelry, right? That is what you told me, because I checked. I asked. I said, why would I want to sell jewelry and not something else? She said, because jewelry is the most complimented thing. So if we're wearing our jewelry, people are going to come to us.
That's true.
And it really is true. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that I've booked a zillion shows out of the grocery store. But I definitely get approached. I definitely hand out my catalog. I definitely do that. So
Right.
it does. And the same, when you start showing up at the baseball games in your jewelry,
Yes.
you're going to get approached for sure. So we talked a little bit about the simplicity of our business. Do you have questions about that? Okay. Oh, I got a ma'am out of that. All right. So tell me, what's next? What's most appealing or intriguing to you next? Money. This is either the first card or the last card very often. Money. We make a 50% gross retail profit. We're the only company in the nation that does such. Mary Kay and a couple of others, after you climb up in tier, you make that gross margin. That's part of what enables you to do fundraisers and anything else, right? You have questions about that? And you know what gross profit means, right? Or gross margin?
A little bit.
Okay, so when you sell something for $100, you keep $50 and you put it in your pocket. Sell something for $10, you put $5 in your pocket. So it's, half of everything you sell goes in your pocket. It's a good one. These cards are older, and so it says quick start, but we have a quick success program. I told you earlier that I'm a huge proponent of a couple of tools Cookie Lee has. One of those is these cards. The other is their quick success program. When I first started, I had a lot of buzzing going on in my ears. I couldn't figure out anything. But I focused on this quick success program, and when I focused on that and just let everything else go away, it really enabled me to become successful. And there is a copy of it in here, and once we get you signed up, we can go through that line by line, and so we can get you going in the right direction. Because if you concentrate on that, you're going to just beat it down. Any questions about that? Okay, what about recruiting?
Nope.
All right, leadership?
Oh, the one thing about recruiting, let me back up. It was I think I read or maybe heard something about interviews. So you interview someone to say,
That's what I'm doing to you right now.
Like if I feel
No, it's
No.
So it's really,
No, it's your conversation.
This is
That's-
what we're having right now.
okay.
That's a recruiting
This is a
interview.
recruiting interview.
Like meeting at Starbucks or meeting
Okay.
at,
I think sometimes our company uses terminology, and I'm all for it, that when we come out of corporate world, we have a perception of it that is not necessarily like when we talk about a team meeting, which we will talk about somewhere in here. If we started our team meetings in corporate world or in government, oh my gosh, we have some cocktails or a glass of wine or a little water. We have some food. We say, how's it going? We have some recognition. And then we get down to brass tacks, right?
Right.
So, again, I think when we talk about monthly team meetings, that can sound like a big, bad, scary thing. But really, it's just an opportunity to get together, be re-energized, recognized, and get a little training. Plus a little women time. So that's the same with when they say things like recruiting interview. Sounds very official.
Right.
It's very much not.
Yeah.
I probably am a little more official than a lot just because, again, if I don't use these cards, we could be there for 5 hours. Leadership. Questions? Yes, no, maybe
Maybe
so.
when I get to that point or something.
It's not hard. It's not scary. And if you decide to be there, you'll be there before you even know it. Okay, so we've talked about these cards. We only have 2 more. Any questions about anything we've talked about so far?
No,
No? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
You are?
Yeah.
Am I scaring you?
No.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, good. Time or support? We're going to talk about both, so.
Support.
Support, all right. Well, in reality, you're already seeing the kind of support, right? So we're going to bump through these pretty quickly. But first line, me, your upline. I am your upline if you sign up under Christine, because she's, but she'd be your direct upline. Here's the thing. When I started, our team was such a cohesive team, and it's just gotten stronger. So we really are team members or teammates, but there is an importance in knowing that terminology. So upline, downline doesn't necessarily mean my boss or not my boss. It just means where you are so you can figure out who you need to call when you need help. Our team is really supportive, but it's just so you know, you'll see that terminology as you run through things. It's not a big deal. Our upline, the illustrious Kathy Bueter. Consultant training. We're talking about doing it, as you know, here. You're at Fresh Cookie Camp. We have it once a month, 3rd Monday of every month. We also have training we've talked about at Fashion Week. We have some training at launch. We also have all of the online training you could possibly ever want. So you could sit there at dead of night with a cup of hot cocoa and your jammies holding Mr. Flipper and no one would know. I meant a stuffed animal, you disgusting people. And I could go down that road and I'm on film and I will not.
Oh my God, is that
know.
what you call it? I don't know what your brain is.
Yeah, and he's a little dolphin.
Okay. Oh.
widow dolphin.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yikes. Okay. There are moments that I'm a little embarrassed for our team too. Team meetings. This is really the flavor of our team meetings. And what's really bad is we all forget that you know how reality shows, you're like, how can those people say that stuff on TV? And then you hear, because after the first little bit and people are tired of the cameras and ignore them, and then you come to one of these meetings and you're like, oh my God, that's how those reality stars say that crazy stuff? They're on film. I mean, like, they could patch us together and we would sound like hoes. No, Vicky would sound like a hoe.
All I did was make a statement. Bless you.
Excuse me. Cookie Lee website. I've mentioned that, but it is an incredible tool with a ton of great information on it. Whenever you have a little time, you can just kind of around
You
it.
get it free. What you get it free when you sign up.
Well, I'm not even going there right now, but yeah, we can. Company events. We've talked about our dream getaway trip. We've talked about Fashion Week. We've talked about launch. We've talked about meetings. Is there something you're looking for that we haven't talked about as far as company events?
No.
Okay, just checking. We don't have second Saturday training. I really need to put my new cards. You know what it is? I hand my new cards to everyone, and so these are like my cards that are in my bag. Yeah, my cards are the old ones, but they say the exact same things. They just happen to say quick start and second Saturday. So when I first started, they had phased out 2.5 years ago. They phased out second Saturday. So those are really old cards, which should go to the longevity of these cards, right? Those are quality. Okay, so we do occasionally have special, like you can go up and do special stuff, but not specifically. Consultant basic training, we've talked about that. That's on the website. Plus, our team specifically has Fresh Cookie Camp every month. Plus, we have training at every meeting. And there's always someone that's going to help you. I mean, these women have seen me do these cards, unfortunately, for a lot now.
It's not unfortunate.
Consultant basic training, we talked about leaders basic training, and the Cookie Connection, which is an online magazine that comes out every month. And it's always got great tools. It's got interviews with women that are big, hit home runs all the time, recruit, do crazy stuff, and inspirational things as well. Plus stuff from John and Cookie themselves, which, by the way, did you know that Cookie was a real woman?
Yeah, I
Yes.
saw a picture in the book.
I get that question a lot. Is Cookie real? I'm like, that's even her name. Okay, so our next and last card is time. Do you have any questions about anything we've done so far? If you do, you have to ask Christine.
Go back to the
Yeah.
clinic.
Go back up to your
Just
upline.
that clinic.
Just kidding. An average show is about $350, and it takes 2 or 3 hours. And you put about $150 in your pocket. Any questions about that? Okay. Choose your work days and hours. We've talked a little bit, and it sounds like you have a fair amount of flexibility, which is great because that enables you to make choices about when you want to work the business, and you can still make family number one. Really, you should make you number one, family number two, your business number three, but we all know how that goes. Customer care calls. It's just a great, again, our company's all about tools. It's a great opportunity for you to, basically be involved with your customers and clients as you wish. And again, we can talk more about that when you get involved. Do you have questions about that? Monthly team meetings, we've talked a lot about that. You've seen them in action. And in fact, we're really much quieter than we normally are.
Because this is all training.
Yes, serious stuff. We are. Our team is loud and rowdy, and we like to have fun, quite obviously. But most everyone in this room will also tell you we are also very much about the business for any number of reasons. It might not just be the money, but we want our business to succeed. And so sometimes I think our silliness isn't such a good indication of our seriousness.
And
But
we want you to join our team. That's why we're being.
oh, I thought it was because I called Vicky a hoe. No one else wanted to be called a hoe. Oh, she's gonna call me a
I
hoe.
have been at times.
Yeah. See, I'm telling you, reality stuff.
All part of the job.
Yeah, go ahead, Kinsey.
Where it says an average show is $350, take 2 hours for $150 profit. Do you need to use, in order to make things kind of balance out so you don't go in the hole with this business, do you need to use that $150 to buy your, to replace your jewelry, or is that just genuinely your own profit that you?
That's a great question, and depending on how sold you are in the business, and also how much of a numbers person you are, you're going to say to me, "Okay, wait, you just told me that I had a 50% gross margin, and now this isn't If I have a $350 show, that'd be $175.
Well, because you have the consultant.
Or,
fee, so that's
is it
like
175,
around
whatever.
this, I don't know.
Okay, so here, let's break it down really quickly. If you have a $350 show, that means that you've sold. And really, for me, because I am not a math girl, I mean, I get it. I just have a hard time. So let's just say 400 because that's way
Yeah,
easier.
wait.
Okay, so it's a $400 show. Plus, we live in Southern California. We all wear a lot more. I guess it's because there's not snow. I don't know, but we spend a little more. So my average show is not $350. I have $350 shows, but I also have $700 shows, so and $800 shows. So it balances out. So I will, I'll honestly tell you that most of my shows run in that $500 range. But because math is easier to do like this, Kinsey and Nicole, $400. So I've just sold $400 worth of jewelry, put it in my pocket, walk out the door. Yes. $200 of that automatically goes back to buy jewelry, right? Because I've just sold $200 of my inventory, right?
Okay, right.
So now I still have $200 left in my pocket. Except I do need to give my hostess her incentives because she's done such an incredible job. And that runs in that 10 to 15% based on where she sells where she helps you sell. So then that brings you back down to those dollar amounts.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So, okay, yeah, that does make sense.
So your gross, your net margin is really in that 40 to 42% range.
Okay.
And it can be higher, and we again give you tools to make that so that it's truly straight across the board 50%. But mine tends to run in that 42 to 44%.
But when you purchase your jewelry, and correct me if I'm wrong because it's my thought and I'm not a math girl.
Good. We'll do well. We can stumble through together.
You're paying half, 50%. So you're not really paying that whole thing that the person
Exactly.
bought. Just so you kind of
So you're putting that in your pocket. Right,
okay.
exactly. So if I sell you a
Right.
$20 bracelet, I'm going to put $20 in my pocket, and then I'm going to replace my inventory. And as you do this more and more, you will figure out when you need to replace inventory and when you don't and those kinds of things. But you will you will automatically just, when you're first starting out, make sure you put that $10 right back into inventory.
Right.
May or may not be that exact bracelet, but you want to make sure you put it right back into inventory. And then that other $10, you can split up in any way you want. And if that's in Nicole's fun pocket or Kenzie's travel pocket, that's totally your choice. Does that make sense?
I think
Hang
that's
on,
what
Bill.
Kenzie was asking, should you reinvest your profit? You don't wanna just take the profit and
Go out
run.
to dinner.
No,
Even
your
though you
profit.
could, But,
No, but you don't have to reinvest your profit.
On the training, on the website, on the Cookie Lee website, on the CBT online training, the Cookie Lee University, there's a little section. It does break down how much is suggested to reinvest, maybe a half and then a quarter towards your bills that you may be wanting. And it breaks it down so that you don't reinvest everything and then have nothing to pay back on what your incentive to get in the company was in the first place. Maybe to pay off some bills. So it kind of breaks it down into how a quarter here, half here of that profit that you've made. And so that's kind of how you can.
Just a really easy formula that we've always known is that you take, after 3 good shows, you should be leveled off on your inventory, and now you start to take profits. So for 3 shows, when you're starting out, you reinvest all of it, the profit and the cost, to build your inventory. Then you should be at a level that you want to stay at. And now when I sell 500, which cost me 250, I'm only reinvesting 250 and now keeping 250.
Okay.
So usually it's about 3 good shows to get you at the level that you want.
Okay. So 3 like $500 shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're reinvesting all of that. You now have more than what you started with your initial investment, but it's a comfortable amount to manage your show calendar.
Okay.
But you can do whatever you need to do,
Yes.
right? I mean,
Right.
so if you have, 3 $500 shows and you have to pay the electric bill,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't reinvest that. And that's why I say, I mean, like,
You
that's
won't be having no.
right. No. That's right. No, but absolutely.
Get the generator outside.
I'm just trying to point out that it was a much easier old
I've got my
timer
jewelry
formula
slightly
Yeah.
rather than quarter here, 50%
Right.
here.
Right.
It's just that sort of rule of thumb. Hey, take everything for 3 good shows,
Right.
reinvest, build up comfortable inventory. but that's only because you've decided that's what you want to do.
Right.
If you gotta pay the rent or
Yeah,
electric bill or
exactly.
whatever, then that's not what you do.
But
Right.
at the same time, I mean, you guys hold so much wisdom with your experience that it's good to hear, you know, those types of.
I'm glad we
Ideas.
put forth that.
I was just looking at
Wise
counsel.
Well, yeah, 'cause the other thing too is that your upline
Gina.
can help you with jewelry for your shows in the beginning.
Right,
so-
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, I know we've taken
Right.
a long time.
We have taken a long time. Okay. Plan your business around your life. We've talked a lot about that. Okay. So, what questions do you have?
Where do I sign?
No, stop. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I asked Christina some of the questions, like, kind of where should I start?
Tell me, what do you mean by where should I start?
Like the packages, because, like I said, I'm not really a big buy. You know, like a big. So I was thinking about the $99
Okay.
starting just to get a feel, and I'll do shows for anybody. You know, just to get the feel of what needs to be done, because I'm telling you, I don't know anybody. Like, I don't even know my neighbors. 'Cause
Okay.
I've just been
Well,
so
Great,
focused
that's
on
what you
just
should
like.
Yep, that's what you should do.
Right. Okay. Except, wait a minute. What I think I'm hearing right now, and is that we're all really excited, and we're like, "Oh my God, we know how to solve this problem!" Right? Right. So the easy answer to Nicole, and I'm sorry because you know you're getting this kind of interesting, but so the easy answer is how you're going to meet your neighbors. Oh my God, it's going to be so much fun. I can help you. But what I think I really hear you saying is, okay, this is like I want to do this, but I'm a little bit overwhelmed, and I'm not sure where I'm going to start. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
That's exactly what you're hearing.
Okay, so I think that's really fair and valid, and I think those are really, you know, really get that. The quick answer is I can help you do all of that, and there are tools in place and team members that can help you do all of that. You just have to trust and believe that you can do whatever it is you put your mind to, which I know you can. You've been in the military, you've raised 2 boys, Lord knows you can. And you know, you've just come back from a country that's, you know, not an easy place to live. It's 120 degrees. So I have total faith in you. And those expectations that you may hear from our group are really only expectations in doing whatever it is you want to do. And so I think really you can do this. And Christine and the rest of us can help you do that. And we can help you figure out even the most comfortable way for you to do that.
Right.
Okay? So what other questions can I answer for you?
No, it's not really questions. It's just kind of like you don't want to. I don't want to. Like, say I'm gonna meet you for a walk and I don't show up. You know, that kind of like commitment,
right.
and then you don't come through because the boys did something, or you know something happened because like my husband, he's military, so he's going to see. And not to make excuses, but things just kind of. I just want to be. I want to feel committed when I do it. I don't want to. And I'm sure you have to be committed,
Yeah.
or you know, a lot of you ladies wouldn't be where you are in the business. So it's like I want to be dedicated.
Okay.
So I just want to get that feel, because it's something I'm interested in, very much so. And I would like to get started, like I said, with the $99, but just.
I think you're putting an awful lot of pressure on your shoulders.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Everybody's
Yeah.
staring
I'm
at
nuking it.
Right. No, but I think
Everyone's
honestly,
staring.
I mean, and I would be having this exact conversation with you, except I would be saying to you exactly the same thing without like, shh. I think you're putting a lot of pressure on your shoulders, and you don't even need to go there. The great thing about Cookie Lee, and this is really it, and again, you've heard me joke about it, and we say schmarmy things, and 2.5 years ago, I'd be like, I can't believe it, but it's true. No one's going to put any pressure on you but you. I mean, you know, this is not life or death. It's not paying rent unless that's something you choose to make it. And every woman in this room has been there with their husband or their child or their grandchild or work, for God forbid. You know, it just means sometimes we can't do it. Now, I will also tell you almost every woman in this room, and I only say almost because like Kenzie I've met twice now, so I don't really know. But when we say we're going to do something, I mean, we mostly do it, but it really is because we choose to be there for each other. And that's the schmarmy part. But it's the true part too. And so we're never going to ask you to do something you don't want to step up and do. And really the most painful thing for you ever is really going to be to bring someone a piece of jewelry. Honestly, I mean, this is not brain surgery.
Maybe if you shadow somebody, if that's what you want to know what it's like. to
Right.
do a show.
And that's what I was saying with the shows, like, you know, get kind of.
Shadow Christine.
Yeah, I have a
Yes.
couple shows coming up, so that's what I would do, and invite you to see how, you know, how I set up and how it goes, and then have a think and just,
I wanted to just
More
put in there
training.
too, because your name is Nicole, right?
Yes.
So I'm a military wife too, and I just got my
This is
jewelry last
brand new.
Thursday. So I'm like completely brand new to this, just probably exactly how you're feeling. And what I did, because I'm like, I don't know people, you know, like in this lifestyle, you just kind of don't get to know people the way you want to. And so I found these vendor fair groups on Facebook, and they organize the whole thing. They even set up the table. You just go, you put out your jewelry, and like how Kathy said, like people walk up to you. I haven't done it yet, but this is what I'm anticipating is people come to you. You don't even have to invite anybody. I'm like, this is a great way to get started right now. Plus, you don't have like the hostess costs or, you know, that end of it. And so, you know, from military wife to military wife, I can feel exactly where you're coming from, and that's the route I'm taking is the vendor fair route, because it, you know, you don't have to worry about who you know, but just putting that out there as a little nugget in your head that might help.
and like your husband, do you have like a, military wives support group?
Haven't got in touch with them.
Okay, so when you do, guess what? They're all coming over. Because that'll be so much fun and such a way to get to know them. You know, have whether it's my house, your house, wherever you want to do something like that.
Right.
I mean, that would be a great way of getting connected with a group that you have so much in common.
One thing that happened that you said with Mary Kay, you signed up and then nothing happened with it. That won't happen here unless you don't want to do anything. I mean, seriously, Christine can answer questions, and you know, if you can't come to the meetings, they're online, and it's, you know, you set your tone and you set your pace, and you know, it's not like, oh yeah, well, she was a big farce or whatever. It's your business. And starting off with the $99 thing, if that's what you feel comfortable with, that's brand new to us. That just started this month. It's a brand new thing this company has launched this
So you will
month.
be as big of an expert by the end of the month as we are.
And
So to
just-
wrap this up really quickly, and then we can go because I know that we've
Yeah.
got lots more to go and it's 8:00. Because as you can see, there's women here that just want to help you. I mean, we are about women helping women, and you could pick anyone here and they're going to help you. And you and Kenzie should trade numbers because, you know, she's new and you guys can be accountability.
Definitely. I'll watch
okay.
your kids, you can watch mine. and
There
then
you
we'll
go.
do-
So
we'll
here
run
are-
shows that way.
Here are my last two questions, and they're sincere. I mean, everything we've talked about, you've seen us be silly, but it's all really sincere. And everything that I've done with you also has been incredibly sincere. But so I want to say, how do you feel now? I mean, like, you've just had this conversation. You've said, yeah, I kind of think I want to do it, but how are you feeling?
It's good. I'm feeling good.
Feeling good? Okay, so what's our next step?
Sign up.
Good job,
I love it when she asks that question. So what's
Those
our
I
next step?
always close with those two questions because I don't care what you think, right? You've already told me what you think. You already think that you're a little scared. You're a little, I'm not sure. But I want to know how you're feeling because I want to know because honestly, until you said that, you said the first time I had a sense that you really were thinking seriously about doing the business. Well, you walked in the door, but was 5 or 7 minutes ago when you said, well, I think I want to do it. I'm just not sure I can. A lot of times I know sooner in, but I didn't know you, so I didn't really know until then. And sometimes I might not know, so I want to know how you're feeling. Like, are we close? Are we even close to doing a deal or not? How are we feeling? And then what's our next step? Because sometimes it's, I want to do it right this second. I don't even have $99. Or sometimes I want to do it right now, but my dad's in surgery next week, and then I'm leaving for Bahrain for 4 months. Okay. I mean, so there's always something going on, right? So our next step is you're going to call Christine, and she's going to walk in the back room and get a form, and you're going to sign it. No, I'm kidding. No, thank you. And I really appreciate it because I know that's kind of scary to step up in front of a whole group of people, right? So don't be afraid of anything. There's nothing harder.
That was the scariest part
I was
of
going to
all
say
of it,
that.
yeah.
You know, the only thing that's going to be as hard as what you just did is picking out which jewelry you want to buy. And I say that with a laugh, but it's true. Because you're going to sit down and you're going to go, oh. And we can help you do that too. And then
I think I had to cut her off from buying. I said, okay, you bought
did.
a lot.
She's like, you can stop.
Yeah. This is dumb.
Well, no, then I snuck home and ordered more. But no, really, I said, what should I buy? And she's like, okay, well, we should buy this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, and I like that, that, and that. And then she's like, okay, I think we're done now. It was before we had online. That's how long.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of you guys did
Well,
online
and
either,
just so
right?
you know, Kathy's upline, who's been in, Cheryl Mangan, who's been in the business 12 years, I think,
Yeah.
moved here from Washington, I believe,
Oregon, yeah.
and didn't know one person, and her average income is 16 to 20,000 a month commission.
Wow.
Her first show
16 to
was she went to the
20,000.
neighborhood bunco group. That's all she knew. She got invited to the bunco group and she said, would you mind if I brought this new jewelry that I'm selling? And that was it. That was the beginning. And so that was her
You can
first
actually look her
booking.
up. She
Yeah.
averages 16 to
This is her.
20,000 a month commission.
Yeah.
She's always number
One of my
2.
shows that I'm doing, I'm having a yard sale this weekend, and I'm like, I'm gonna set up a table.
Yeah.
Coming to me.
There you go.
You know,
So-
for military, we don't know people. I'm like, they're gonna come anyways for yard sale.
Yeah.
And just set up my table.
Very
At
good.
these-
Like,
at
gotta
these-
start somewhere.
At these events, see if you can get shows booked, because
Yeah.
that's the most important
Yeah.
thing for you at those events and at your.
Okay.
Right.
So, all right. So everything I've done is really tells you between these two things you can do it. And like I said, I underline it's about the bottom of each step. It gives you the little query. The only thing they don't finish with is how are we feeling and what's our next step.
Yeah, which I
And
just
very
love.
nice, Tricia.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yes, thank you, Nicole.
Okay, so we are going to move rather quickly from this point. And I'm going to finish up in the CBT by telling you that after you were asking, and I'll probably move over there in just
Yes.
a minute, but there are several ways for somebody to join. We have our online express sign up where you can send somebody an invitation to their email. They can click through there and sign up. That's how you joined, right, Brittany? Right? You got an email? Okay, or you have your Click website where you can direct people to your Click website and they can just click join now and go through there. That's a personalized site. We're not going to go through any of that, but we do have the ability to have your own website through Cookie League. Our next step in the recruiting process would be after somebody signs on, and that's with the new consultant orientation. Those are handouts that I sent to you today. We're not going to go through those, but it's a great guide for you to be able to sit down with your new consultant and have something like what you had with the recruiting cards, where it's just step by step. Now we're going to talk about this, and now we'll talk about this. So yeah, it's great. You're on board, but let's get you initiated in the right way. Make sure that you are lined up for training, meetings, all like that. And then you're going to review the Quick Success Program with your new recruit. And in just a few minutes, we're going to be going through that as well. So I'd like to leave you with this for just part of our training today. I want to make sure that you, on the person that you wrote down on the back of your hesitation card, that you call that person with your personalized recruiting process and invite them to the interview. Okay, maybe you can talk about their hesitations over the phone, but I want you as your homework to call that one person that you wrote down on that card and get them to a recruiting interview. Practice those recruiting cards that I gave you in the handout and that Tricia did oh so well. Just
Thank you.
cannot believe how well she can do that.
Everyone does them just
It's
as well after
amazing.
doing them a couple times.
And then, of course, everybody has to recruit somebody new tomorrow. Okay.
No
That's
pressure,
just-
Nicole.
Just easy homework. Anybody who cannot complete that, no, I'm kidding. So we're going to go through.
And that's double for Kathy.
We're gonna sort of go through quickly our 6 steps to successful sponsoring. That's going to be Vicki and Tricia. Just to let you know, just the thoughts behind that, what somebody might be thinking, maybe some different approaches, and we're going to do that right now. I don't know who's beginning that, but that's Vicki and Tricia. It
So,
says
Vicki, you want to do 1, 3, 5,
6
or
steps to
2, 4, and
successful
6?
sponsoring.
That's what I was trying to get from you.
Okay.
Nicole, the
So who's
thing I
first?
wanted to say
You want to do
Okay.
2, 4,
is
6?
the four of
All right,
us
so
are-
then I'm going to put this on Tricia.
Is that what you just said to me?
We're not
Yes,
actually
2, 4,
in
6.
their team, But this is the nice thing, you can go to anybody's meetings, cause they always welcome anybody.
Oh, hello.
So Rami is our upline, and we have a smaller group, so we come here cause it's more fun with more people.
Okay, so who's beginning?
I am.
Okay.
Okay, so you've seen me actually do it, but you know, there is some, well, first of all, like I said, everything that I do in them is always comes from sincerity. I mean, I laugh and goof and say inappropriate things all the time, but always with sincerity. And so part of that is, on number 1, building rapport, right? Smile, eye contact, find a common interest, matching and mirroring. I will say the more things you kind of have in common, then you just start clicking, right? So that doing that food card, whether you actually lay it down and do it, or whether you've actually had all of that kind of who are you and why do I like you, why am I drawn to you conversation, is really great for common interest. Matching and mirroring. I noticed it. Did any of you notice it? She got quiet and started leaning back. And I got quiet and started leaning forward. And at first I wasn't even aware, and then I'm like, oh, that's why I'm not sure where we're going here, because we're getting quiet. Appear more like your prospect and you will have a much stronger rapport. That's right, because if I keep telling her all those funny things, then I would steamroll right over her. So there's truth in that, for sure. And especially if you have a strong personality. I would never say that about myself. But I can steamroll someone and not even know it, right? So,
Same here.
right. So if you have a strong personality, it's important to pay attention to those cues. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 55% of any message is achieved through your physiology. That's 38% voice, 7% words. That's powerful, right? Mm-hmm. That goes to that whole body language thing. Match voice quality, pitch, speed, and tonality. We just talked about that. If they talk fast, you speed up, and if they talk slow, you slow down. It's impossible for me to slow down, but I try. Speak from principles of trust, respect, service, integrity, and authenticity. Yeah, or simply sincerity. I mean, you know. Vic.
And I think that just, I don't know, it automatically portrays anyway, because you love what you do. You're sharing the opportunity because you love what you do. So it's coming out genuine. It's not, I always ask my team members, did I sound pushy? Was I a car salesman? Did I come across that way? And, 99% of the time, you can't be pushy if you don't want to be pushy.
Right.
That's impossible.
Right.
So,
that goes to showing up, right? Have
right.
I shown, we all have been things where we've just done it, right? But Cookieely enables us to show up, and as long as we've shown up, we're not going to be any of those things. Yeah.
Okay, so number 2, ask and listen. Shift the focus from yourself and the opportunity to the prospect and her dreams. This is, we women think that we're really good listeners, which I think we're much better listeners than men. But when you get woman on woman, I think we both want to share at the same time, or I know I'm guilty of wanting to give them all this information that they haven't asked for. So somebody told me in the very beginning, because I have a lot of energy and I get really excited, when I first signed up for Cookieely, I couldn't sleep for like 3 days. I mean, I'd wake up, I was so excited. It was ridiculous. And so you want to share that with everyone. But they are not always ready to hear all that diarrhea, right, of the mouth. So somebody in one of the trainings said, if you bake a cake and somebody says, oh my gosh, this is the best cake I've ever had, and you go, well, you take 1 cup of flour and half a cup of oil and 3 eggs and, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Okay, they're just saying that they liked it. So I took that to heart. It really is, because I think the more that we're in this, I almost think you have an advantage when you're brand new and sharing that excitement, but you don't know how to articulate it. It's just so exciting, and then people get excited. So the listening part, I think, obviously is huge. And since we have these great recruiting cards, that very first food card absolutely opens the door, and all you do is ask those questions, that one question at a time. Tell me about your family. And then you listen, and then they're going to tell you exactly what it is. Are they single? Are they divorced? Are they, whatever it is. And then as you listen to what they're saying, they might not even know what they're looking for in this business. So you ask them, well, what made you decide to come and meet with me today? And listen to what they say. And then I just want to add, with that listening, to not prejudge, like Romy was saying, and I was very guilty of prejudging. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. The first, I never would have offered this opportunity to someone that appeared to me to be a 75 or 80-year-old grumpy, gray-haired, frumpy old lady. I never would have, because I would have thought, well, she doesn't work. What does she need the money for? No, this was just my own thinking. Then when I went to my
Or
first,
not grumpy.
No.
You can say, she's
but when I
fine.
went to my first Cookie League convention, or now Fashion Week, and I saw women up there rocking that stage for recognition that were gray hair, that were maybe frumpy. They certainly weren't grumpy. And they were having the time of their life. And I thought to myself, I wonder if I've not listened, not even just verbally, but the physiology of it, and not even approach somebody.
It's the cop in you. It's the cynical cop in you.
I don't know. It might be.
I
It's
don't
just
think
is.
so.
No,
No,
it
no.
is. That is
Because
very-
there's been people that I have totally glazed over and I could have missed an opportunity. And they could
I
have
had to
missed
learn.
an
Well,
opportunity.
what I'm saying about that is my brother-in-law's law enforcement, Marine, narcs, you know, the whole SWAT team thing, and he has the same approach. He'll prejudge and realize that that wasn't exactly. It's a judgment of character, because that's what they're looking for. I mean, you're looking for details, and if those details don't match what your scenario of a Cookie League consultant is, then you're writing them off.
I
And
don't
that's
think
what I
that
mean by
there
that.
shouldn't be a scenario.
That's what I'm saying, is that
Right.
that's just in her makeup, because that's what she's looking for details, because that's her background.
She's
Yeah,
different
but
outside
I
of
am,
that, though.
and part of being a cop in the very beginning is listening 100%. You have to listen all the time.
Right.
But I really think that the listening is very, very important. And like this says, listen 80% of the time and talk 20. And if you've listened, and I think we're going to go over some of Belinda Ellsworth, who is a motivational trainer for direct sales. She is absolutely unbelievable. And she says, you say this, you listen, and you walk away. And that's really hard because you need to listen. And I mean, I don't know any other way to say it, but when somebody, I like the way that when Trish was doing the recruiting card, she listened and clarified what she heard, rather than expounding on a lot of, when Nicole said, I don't really know if I know very many people and blah, blah, blah. And then Tricia said, okay, well, we have ways that we can help you with that. We can train you with that. But what I hear you saying is you're a little reserved and not really sure how to get out there and that kind of thing. And I think that that's really important, because if we listen to what they say, but we're not hearing it and digesting it, we're going to respond with all this diarrhea of the mouth that gives them, their hair standing up, and, it's like riding a motorcycle with no helmet. So I just think I really do think listening is something we have to learn and practice. Trisha.
Clarifying the need. You saw me do it when we all wanted to solve her problem. So it just says, this helps you better understand how the business can serve the prospect and how you can help her. You saw that in action. Any questions on that? I mean, no. Yeah.
And then making the connection between what your prospect wants and what the Cookie League business opportunity can offer. Building a bridge between her wants and your business, and help her see herself in business help her see herself in business for herself. I think that just the little opportunities that we can provide, going back to those recruiting cards and giving them really basic information, like if you only have, 1 day a month that you want to work this business or have the time to work this business, it still can open those doors for you to have female friends, to get outside the home or whatever it is. I know some of the things that appeal to teachers in this business is that they have an opportunity on their downtime, their summer vacation, or if they're in year round, they have the 3 or 4 weeks off, or they really make a big deal about the different holidays, like Mother's Day and this and that. So it's maybe not something that they want to get into and be pressured of having to do this all the time every month, but over a year's time, they can probably reach those same goals if we just help them work at it and listen to what they're saying of why they want to get in it, or think maybe they cannot get in it because they can't do something every month. And the company's not set up that you have to do something every month.
Yeah, they don't see.
So, Trisha.
Am I in 5 now?
Yeah. Oh, did I finish? Did I? Oh,
Well, we've talked about
Yeah.
it though, extra income reducer. I mean, not that you can't, but.
yeah. She did cover that.
Okay, so extend the invitation. You've heard the way I extend it. Obviously, you don't have to extend it that way. Everyone that sits at this table is recruited, says it somehow. For me, how are you feeling? What's our next step? Is my extending of invitation. One of the other, and really what you're trying to do is, find out where the push is on it. What's the reason that someone's not going to sign up? So one of the other suggestions is, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you fall? 1 being no, and 10 being, yeah, I'm ready, let's do it right this second, right? So that's great too, because that kind of takes the pressure off also, because then someone can kind of go, and then the follow-up question to that is, okay, knowing that, what do you think it would take to move you to a 10? So I think that's a great one. And then the pillow test, I've used it occasionally. It hasn't worked real well for me thus far, but I think it kind of goes, the pillow test actually led me to, how are you feeling? But the pillow test is that, after they say, I'm a 4 and this is why, and then you say, I totally understand that you want to give this some thought. I'd like to ask you to do me a favor. I'd like you to do something I call the pillow test. And that's where you send someone home and they sleep on it, basically, right? Mm-hmm. So it says it here. It's what we call the pillow test, and it's helped lots of people on my team. Can I reach you on your cell phone tomorrow? If you decide then that the business is not for you, that is fine, and we will go about our day. But if it is, I can help you start. So there are lots of ways to close people, but certainly I think those are 3 great ways to do it without saying, so when are you going to sign up? That goes right to, I don't want to have to ask that question, right? But you need to ask it somehow.
Okay, and then the last part, follow-up. This is the crux of it. Research shows that the #1 fear surrounding the topic of follow-up is the fear of appearing pushy, while at the same time statistics prove that most offers are closed after the 5th invitation to accept the offer. That doesn't necessarily mean that you've asked them 5 times. It could be in these different subliminal ways of giving her information and asking her how she feels about it, and that sort of thing too. But I strongly believe with the follow-up with anything, whether it's booking a show, setting a recruiting interview, calling someone when they're like, well, I don't have time right now, lock them into a time and date, at least a temporary, tentative one. Get permission to follow up by deciding on a specific date and time. So if Nicole was to go home today and say, I just need some time to think about it, my response to that would be, I completely understand and appreciate that. Can I give you a call on Friday after 3 or something like that? Would you be available more in the daytime or in the evening time? And get them to give you that information. So how is that being pushy? Does anybody think? Yeah, you're asking permission, you're asking if you can follow up. And then if she says, oh no, I really just, I'm not, I don't really know. If you have to keep hounding them, you don't want to do that. But I've even done, well, if it's not good timing right now, what would be good timing? Can I follow up with you in 2 months? Or can I follow up with you in a month? Sure, okay, today's the 19th of March. I'm gonna go ahead and kick this over to somewhere around the week in the 19th of April. Will that work? And then you have to do it. That's the thing, is you have to call them. But you've already gotten permission. So to me, that part's not the scary part. That's the easiest part of the follow-up. Writing a letter or email within 24 hours of your meeting, reaffirming her strengths and reminding her of the reasons she gave for starting a new business. I have done this, and it's really fun for me. I don't know how much fun it is for the recipient, but at one of our workshops that we had at training and either product launch or convention, we had to write 2 quick little postcards to people that we had met with and just say, simple, I love meeting with you, thank you for taking the time. I really think you would be an asset to this team because you already have a flair for jewelry, or you really need time with the girls, or whatever it is that you've heard her tell you. And I wouldn't go into, the 20 top things. I would just highlight 1 or 2 things on a quick postcard or email or letter. Lisa, we have these really cute little postcards now. Look how cute these
What are you
are.
gonna do
We
with
should get
those?
in on
So
those.
Lisa's, Lisa's
Yeah,
team
okay.
member Victoria that did our T-shirts and all that for the different conventions and stuff did this. And as we learned at one of the trainings, keep a stack on your desk with a stack of postcard stamps, and you're ready to go. You don't have to go out and buy them. You don't have to dig around, and you're ready for your follow-up. Offer to help find a solution to a challenge that may be standing in her way. Which when we get to the next part on the hesitation cards, those are awesome. And I have one of those and a sheet protector in the front seat of my car. My office.
You have a pillow there.
I need a pillow. More tips for follow-up. Follow-up fast, friendly, and within 24 hours. I think that if we remember that anything that you're excited about, whether somebody you just met outside of the Cookie Leaf business, but there's a sale going on, you want to tell your friends about it, you know, I hear something good, I see something on the emails, and I'll call Lisa. Oh, did you see the Success Factory thing today? No, let me send it to you. It shouldn't be much more than that. It's just something that you want to do quickly while people are still excited within meeting with you. Because how many times have we gone shopping, which I hate doing and I'm not good at, and I'll look at something and overthink it. Oh, I love this dress, but should I spend this kind of money? Should I do it? Well, if the salesperson does their job, I'm probably going to leave with that dress knowing I can bring it back. But if the salesperson doesn't do anything about it, I'm just going to walk out and it's going to walk away, and I might think about it for 2 or 3 more days. That salesperson is going to call me. Did you still like that dress? How are you thinking about this? What do you feel? By a week, it's already gone, right? It's left your head, and your head is filled with other things. So I think the first 24 or 48 hours are important. Have a system that supports you following up as promised. I write it on my calendar. I go right over, and if it's 2 weeks, I write it on 2 weeks. I'm lagging on one that I was supposed to call on Monday, and I talked to her 2 weeks ago. And I said, okay, I'm going to call you on Monday, whatever the date was, and she said, fine. So I have it's written, and I need to call her. Maintain a position of strength by letting go of the outcome. This is where you don't get pushy. This is where you don't hound, and you also can't take it personally. So I think the position of strength is, as Belinda Ellsworth says, walk away. Let it go. If the outcome isn't what you wanted. Now, you're not going to let go of the outcome if they sign up. So I would think that this would be letting go of the outcome if they didn't make a decision right then and there.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing
Well, or you don't
too
care what
is-
the answer is. You just want to make sure you make the offer, and then
Yeah.
And you ask them if they're okay at receiving information from you. They appreciate that. And you get a yes, and you get some kind of feedback back from them.
So if they're
Or
not
you
being
get
a
a no.
consultant, they can at least be a customer.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Or you can
maybe
give them
they're ready.
information.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. If maybe they just want to be a customer. Let's have a show, but then we can make it a decider show. If you're hanging your hopes on a few, then you are not talking to enough people. This is completely true. I would call my upline or talk to Kathy and go, oh my gosh, this girl's been on the fence for like 10 months, and she's like, why? Move on. Call her every 2 or 3 months. Don't, keep, a month later and a month later, and it's like taking too much of your focus there's tons of people you haven't talked to.
Yeah, you can't waste your time.
Yeah, you can't waste your time on someone that's not quite ready. And it doesn't mean that, and the other thing we've learned too is that people's lives change every 3 to 6 months. And so kick it over in your calendar for 6 months and then give them a call. And maybe this isn't the right time, but I just wanted to let you know that I still think about you, how are your kids or whatever it is, and see where they are with that. The more you interview, the less you feel the rejection of a no. And we've heard this over and over. It takes at least 10 no's to get a yes. And you just can't take it personally. You just work with them the best that we can with what's going on in their lives, and just keeping them in touch with them, because we've heard over and over and over consultants that are like, yeah, my best friend for 5 years, I held 2 shows a year from her, for her or whatever, but I wanted nothing to do with becoming a consultant. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, 5 years later, the kids are grown, or she's, retired, or she's getting divorced, or whatever it is, and now, or she's seeing, oh, that's a trip I want to go on now. I really want to go on that trip. How do I do it? So you never know, and I think that that's just, one of the other important things on that.
Okay, perfect. Is that the end of the block that the two of you are doing?
Belinda show. You want to do that? I don't do any of that. Not that it's not
Okay.
important, but I really don't.
I think it should be used as a homework reading material.
And there's nuggets for sure.
Yeah.
The Belinda one.
There's one that says Belinda Show presentation, and that's just a different way of putting things when you're doing your presentation.
It's number 7.
So that's something that I wanted to make sure everybody had for their binder, but that's not anything that we need to review because everybody can read that on their own.
It's a lot of good ideas.
It's a lot of great ideas.
Yeah.
There are pieces of it. I just never do that whole thing.
And of course, those hesitation cards, you can review those and keep those with you. You might want to print them off on cardstock, and then you'll have something that
Don't they come on cardstock
really
in our new
deals.
packets?
I don't know if you get the hesitation cards in your packets. The recruiting cards, yes.
Those little hesitation cards, did you get them in your recent packet?
No, I didn't. Is it?
Okay.
this-
Yeah, I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the recruiting cards that
okay.
you get that.
Oh, they came in
Okay.
our cookie connection.
Yes.
Where were they?
Okay, so what we're going to deal with next is the Quick Success and Quick Success cards, and I have a little introduction to talk about Quick Success. First, I would like to say that the weekly updates were posted. There are about 450 consultants that have over 8,000 trip points, but let me just highlight some people on page 1.
Yeah.
In position number 5 nationwide, Jocelyn Jasperson with 35,082 points. She has earned a ticket plus.
Remember, it starts January 1st.
Number 13, Kathy Buter with 22,396. Number 14 with 22,392, Christine Ludekin. Number 25, Cindy Stella from Las Vegas. I know she was going to be on tonight. Number 51, Gloria Jean Hans with 16,572. That is just page 1. We represent 10% of page 1.
I didn't make it.
Yay!
Yes, 10% of page 1. I'm really impressed with that. I think we have a lot on page 2. A lot.
We do have a lot on page 2.
Yeah, a lot of people on page 2. So really excited
Because
about
I know
that.
Sarah, Grace, and I are on page
Yes.
2.
So I would like to lead into Quick Success with this. So Kinsey and Brittany, you are in your Quick Success period.
And
And-
Bernadette.
And Bernadette, in your Quick Success period. And of course, Nicole, you will be in your Quick Success period. What does that mean for you? Anything we do, you get double.
I know.
That's good.
And it's for 3 months.
For 3 plus months.
Calendar month.
What is your sign-up date?
March 10th.
March 10th. March is thrown away. March and April are counted as
Aw.
month 1.
Okay.
May is month 2.
Aw.
June is month. June is month 3.
Aw, Thank you.
So all the way till the end of June, everything you do, points are doubled.
So like go crazy from here.
Go crazy, girl.
That's
crazy.
how I got my points.
Okay?
I took advantage of those double points.
Anybody who signs up in March, same thing. All the way through June, your points are doubled. So what does that mean? When somebody says, yes, I'll have a show for you, book it in close. Because that's more purchases that you can make, more shows that you can do. What you would say to that is, when they say, I'd really like to do one in September when the next catalog comes out, I really appreciate that you want to help me, but I'm supposed to have as many shows as I can in the first 6 weeks of my business. Would it be possible for you to move that show date up to March 30th to help me? Okay, so you want to book as much in close to those dates as you can. You want to start holding recruiting interviews. You can use it as practice. My upline says that I really need to practice this. You may not be interested in this, but would you come and sit down with me over coffee so that I could practice with these cards with you? You might find out that somebody really is interested, but that's a good line. I just want to practice with you.
And at
Okay.
first, it's practice.
So we have a gal on our team. Quick Success was released last year, and Grace Freebie on our team earned her whole trip in her quick success period. That's because it is possible. And that's why we double those points to make sure that a new consultant has all the tools they need, all the support they need to go on that trip in that first year. And that is why we have 450 consultants who have already achieved over 8,000 points. Do you know the starter points that you get when you first join Cookie League?
4,000.
4,000
I already
points.
have 6,000.
Because you purchased as well.
March 10th.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you purchased.
Yeah.
So if you were to join under the $99 option, you get 4,000 points. But the purchases that you make, those points get doubled. So you have purchased about $1,000 wholesale since you joined this month, plus joining, and that's why that 1,000 was doubled to 2,000 plus 4,000. You have 6,000 points, and you just joined.
That's
I just
awesome.
think that's so
You're
crazy. I love
1/5
it.
of the way to the trip, and you just joined.
Yeah,
You're in your first month.
I'm totally going.
Okay, well, of course you are. Of course you are.
I'm so going.
Anybody with quick success is totally going on this trip. Absolutely. So it's a beautiful program. It really, really works. We've seen great results with it, and we all wish we were in our quick success period just like you are. So please take advantage of it and meet with your upline. In that vein, we came out with some quick success cards to help the upline meet with her new recruit and explain quick success to her. And so you're going to go over the quick success cards.
I am, except for I didn't have time to
It's okay.
cut the cards out.
That's
but
all right.
Like the recruiting
We're visionaries.
cards, you are. So the recruit, just like the recruiting cards, you have your quick success cards, and they look like these. So, and did you say these are available in the Cookie Connection?
Those were, but they're also online.
They're also
Okay.
online,
So
yeah.
online or in the handout.
Right.
So copy them front to back, and then okay. Either if you have them in your sign up packet, or you can take them to Copy Place and have them laminated. So number one, recruiting cards talks about your rewards period. This is your sign up month plus the first 3 calendar months. So you'd indicate your start date and your end date. So if you were to sign up today, today is the, what day?
19th.
The 19th. Oh, this is one?
Yeah.
Okay. So your end date would be March, June.
The end of
The
June.
end of June.
Mhm.
So you know how many, what your start and end date is. So you choose the option that you want to sign up, $99 option or option 2. The option 2 is, now option 2 or option 1 went away, right?
Goes
There's
away.
no, or it goes away
This
this
is
time.
I know I need to answer your questions, Kinsey, on that.
Okay.
That's okay.
So during so $99 option during the month of March, you get $200 in free jewelry for signing up.
Always
Yes.
with the 99.
Always.
Mhm.
Okay. I learned something. Option 2 is where you purchase $500 in wholesale jewelry.
Something blocked on there.
Oh, running on reserve power. That's okay. I got it.
And again, all points are doubled during your quick success period. Okay, sorry, I'm not familiar so much with these cards. Shopping for your jewelry, you get $500 trip points for every $250 in personal wholesale volume. You're recruiting new consultants. You're earning 2 Dream Getaway trip points for every $1 in personal wholesale volume your new recruits accrue. Any questions on that?
I had a quick question. On this quick success rewards chart, where it says 500 trip points on every $250 purchase, that kind of made it sound like if you're gonna spend 500, make it turn into 2 purchases, but it doesn't need to be that way, does it? So-
They're just trying to give you the example of double points and that we
Okay.
reward in increments of 250 wholesale.
Okay, okay.
I have a question, on the 750, personal wholesale volume, is that the
Cumulative.
first, second, so the first month you have to do 750, the second month 750?
No, it is cumulative wherever it falls. So your first order could be 200, your next order is 700. But somewhere in there you hit that first 750. Okay,
So when you hit the let's say that they don't order the 750 right off the bat.
Right.
Let's say they sign up in option 1,
Yeah.
option 2, and then later on they do 250.
Yeah.
Once they hit that, then they get the exclusive
Yes,
ring.
it's a cumulative
Got it.
amount that runs through your entire quick success period.
Okay.
So you could do it all in month 3. It doesn't matter. You will
Okay.
get all the rewards.
Okay.
I love Cookie Lee's incentives. If there's ever an incentive, you want to get that incentive, whatever it is. If you think, oh, it's just a ring or it's just $50, you want everything. You want to have all kinds of jewelry that you tell people, oh, sorry, you can't get that. You have to be a consultant. They're like, really? So this ring, we can't get this. Only you can in your Quick Success program. So you get this beautiful pink ring with your first $750 in personal wholesale volume. And that's your first month, full month of business. So
Anywhere,
it's
yeah.
this month plus next month when you sign up today, okay? And you're going to get this ring and you're going to wear it proudly. They talk about on the reverse of the card, they talk about sales tips. So you're going to review Consultant Basics Training number 4, the home show online. So this is,
Those are 3. So the
I'm on 2.
Okay, then you go to this 2.
I'm on here. The ring and then, okay. So you're watching training online, and that training is the home show. There's amazing resources online. So this is just your reminder here. The suggestion is holding 5 home shows during this month, so it's going to be this month plus April. And then you're going to book 2 home shows from every home show that you hold. So this is going to get you on your feet, and you're going to run with your business by following all these tips. The third card is, again, sales tips. You're selling another $750. You're holding 5 home shows. You're booking 2 shows from every home
Bless you.
show that you hold. Bless you. And you're going to get this, another reward Cookie Lee's going to give you. You're going to get a sales aid gift pack. It's a $200 retail value. These are things that you can use. You're going to carry this cute little lunch bag. You're going to drink your water out of this cute little bottle. You've got some baskets, a mirror, some jewelry. These are your giveaway jewelry items for your recruiting interviews that don't cost you any money. And then, as far as sales tips go, you're going to review Consultant Basics Training online booking, 50 ways to book a home show list. We'll probably talk about that at the next training. You're going to hold 5 home shows this month and book 2 home shows from every home show you hold. Again, it's going to set you up for success. And then recruiting card number 4, you're going to get this bracelet, the Quick Success Bling bracelet that none of us can get because we can't take advantage of this program, but you're going to wear it proudly. And you're going to sell another $750 by, where am I, 4? You're going to review Consultant Basics Training number 7, online again, product knowledge. You're gonna hold 5 home shows this month. And you might think about holding 5 home shows. How am I gonna do that? I've got kids, I've got a job, I've got whatever it is. You work it around your schedule. You might do 2 shows in a day. We heard some training at, I think it was in Vegas, where she says, if I'm gonna get up and get dressed, I'm gonna do 2 shows. I'm not gonna waste all of this and do just
Doing
one
my
show.
hair
I'm
and
gonna
everything
do-
else for
I'm
one
gonna
show.
do 2 shows in a day. If you can do it, you do it around your schedule and your other priorities. And then 4, joining your Leaders Dream Team series. Are we doing one of those?
Well, we're kind of doing this.
This is this is your training, and all of you, you'll hear that those that show up go up. Well, you're all here, and so we're going up together. Number 5, we only have 2 more to go. Promoting. You are going to bring in your first recruit. You become, well, let's talk about when you sign up, you're a consultant. When you bring on a consultant, your first recruit, you are a senior consultant. You're going to get $50 from Cookie Lee. You're going to just get a little check. You're going to get this beautiful little bling bracelet that none of us can have, and you're going to get a sash. And that sash is probably going to be the most important thing that you're going to get when you go to Fashion Week, because you are going to wear that proudly and you are going to rock the runway. And you might think, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're going to want to do it. When you get there, there is nothing like it, and we're all going to be cheering for you. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to recruit 4 more people. And recruiting is not, you're sharing this business with people. So it's not fair to keep it all to yourself. You need to just find a way to share it, and whatever works for you.
There's incredible stories out there.
I gotta quit saying but I get so excited. Trisha is very articulate. She does those recruiting cards amazingly. It's not going to flow from me or from some of you like it does from her mouth. But the cool thing is that person that's sitting opposite you, they like you enough to come and meet you. And it doesn't matter what you say, because there's something that appealed to them because of you. And so we're real in this business. And that's what I love about it. I can be real, I can be silly, I can be any way I want, and I keep getting invited back. Of course, Kathy doesn't lock the door, so that's kind of hard. Anyway, so I digress. But anyway, so sharing the business, if you share it with enough people, if you talk to enough people, and you have this $99 amazing opportunity, use the tools that Cookie Lee has. Use some of the tools that you've learned about tonight. Look at this information. You can't help but recruit 5 people in your first 3+ months of business, and you'll get another $200. So you're getting $250 from Cookie Lee, plus a ring, plus a bracelet, plus a sash, and all these points as well. You're tracking your points on the rear of 5, no, on the rear 5, did I cover all this stuff without even looking? CBT Online Consultant Basics Training regarding recruiting. Use what you've learned here tonight. Your Frank contact list, we reviewed that. Share the 6 recruiting cards with 5 unidentified people. And then finally, number 6, the Double Dream getaway trip points throughout your quick success period, which Kathy talked about.
Which we did talk about.
Tracking your points by cookielee.com, attending your monthly team meetings, staying in touch with new recruits and their quick success rewards. And I just want to touch just briefly on follow-up. 3 years I had been kind of shooting information to Carmen, who was online a little while ago. Her life changed. She worked the day that I met her. She told me that she had to leave her family, her daughter, who was 3 at the time, to go to work a 10-hour day. And she quit that job in January, had a baby in October, so she's got 2 beautiful little girls, and is gonna be doing Cookie League. And I wouldn't have met her had I not been doing this business.
Okay.
So,
And it just goes to show you that life does change.
Yep.
Never
It
give
does.
up.
it
He's
does.
speaking out. Max is really sickening.
Bye, Tricia.
Bye,
Love you,
Tricia.
doll.
Hope you
Bye,
Thank
feel
you
Tricia.
so
Thank you
much.
so much.
He's just that age where he's all of a sudden big boy sick.
Okay.
Tricia's
I hope
leaving.
he feels better.
So let me bring this home for everybody. Thank you so much, Tricia.
Bye.
Just a quick thing, $99 option came out this month. This is great. I did this flyer in the middle of the packet. I just gave you this cost breakdown for the $99 option and the $99 plus designer package. One of my guests that was here at our launch party actually emailed me and said she'd like to sign up for the $99 plus designer package, which meant that you can, because I want people to know, you can add jewelry onto that $99 order. So she basically is halfway through her qualification period when she just signed up for the $99 plus the jewelry that she wanted to order. So I thought that was important to pass along to you. We're not going to have time to go through the entire income points that I wanted to get to you, but I'm going to briefly go over some things that you could take home and just do it as homework. Basically, these 3 handouts that say achieving income goals through home shows, the consultant example, leader income goal worksheet, those are you're going to fill in, and it's all based on this income goal chart. Corporate made up this chart that I went through and corrected a few things and forgot to correct on the other ones. But in any event, it shows you what you can make on each show. Okay, so this chart, this rainbow chart, shows you what you would make on each show after the hostess costs and such like that, and half off items for bookings and all like that. If you wanted to back into what you needed to make each month, you would go then over to your consultant example worksheet, and it says the monthly income goal is $1,000. Well, what would that mean? That would mean 8 shows. That is just one stream of income. Remember, we have 2 streams of income with Cookie Lee and with most direct sales companies. It's important to know, it's important to work both of those streams of income. There is a tipping point when one stream of income becomes larger than the other, but you still need both in order to propel your business. So you can pick any number that you want, and it will basically tell you how many shows a month you need to do according to that rainbow chart. Except know that in San Diego, at least, our shows are a little bit higher, it seems, than this national average. But I don't know if that's just San Diego or it's just this new catalog, because everybody's having higher shows with this new catalog. So I'm really excited about that. So you could go through and pull that out. Now, if you said, well, I need to make $2,000 a month, I need to make $5,000 a month, then you could see what leader position you needed to be in and how much downline volume you needed in order to accomplish that. That's what these worksheets are all about. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go through them all, but I think pretty much they're self-explanatory. When you go through, it says divide by this, add this, and then you're going to see what kind of team volume you need. And then you could translate that into shows for your team. And your team starts with one person. Okay, when you have one person, then that person knows 25 people. That person knows 100 people, whatever it is. And it's just the exponential growth of having at least one person, then 2 people, then 3 people, and that's how you start to build a team. It does take time and it takes patience to build a business, but you know what? That's what it is in any other
Business.
any business. It takes 3 to 5 years to build a good business. And that's what you're doing here. Now, when you're doing shows, you're meeting people. When you meet people, then you have the opportunity to set up the recruiting interviews, and when you set up the recruiting interviews, that's how you recruit. First they see and experience what you do, then you bring it home by having that interview with that person and exploring what they need out of a business and really reinforcing that they could do this business, and they can, because it could be on their own time schedule, their own way. There's no right or wrong way to be doing this. Like I said in the beginning, my first year and a half, I didn't even talk to anybody at a show. But that didn't serve me very well. So I did say thank you. I did say thank you. But then finally I said, oh, maybe I should show them what to do with the jewelry. And that worked a lot better. That's just the numbers portion of putting together what kind of income that you need. For me, it was always about, I'm just going to start and I'm going to put myself into it on what level I can. Family always came first. Family still comes first, even though they're growing and my baby's moving away.
Yeah.
But
Tiffany?
no, Julianne, the baby's moving.
Baby.
The baby's moving to Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Hey, you and me both, sister. So, but she's got a new adventure planned. So, what? I'm not good enough. I don't know. So, anyway, so I believe in direct sales, but I believe you have to be with the right company. It has to be right for you. It's not that jewelry spoke to me, and it's not that jewelry will speak to the people that you are sitting with at the recruiting interviews. But does the lifestyle fit? Does the team fit? Does the gross profit margin fit? All those things are probably going to be a yes. Don't prejudge. That's very important. I did not wear jewelry. I did not talk to people. And yet I still was recruited by somebody. No, I said I want to do this. She actually didn't recruit me. I said, okay, now I want to do this. But only because the numbers were there.
Yeah.
So see, it doesn't have to be about jewelry. It doesn't have to be that I'm looking for a job. It doesn't have to be any of those things. It just might make sense with the numbers. A trip made no sense to me because the points made no sense to me. Okay? They didn't make sense to me for a long time. So a lot of this can be over somebody's head. They just have to know it's possible. They just have to know that what they want out of this is possible. And that's what you're showing by doing that recruiting interview, by not prejudging, by just putting it out there and letting people know that there might be something there for them.
Very nice.
Okay? All right, because I don't want to keep anybody too long. Boy, we have nobody chatting here. That must mean they all went to bed. They all went to bed. But I wanted to keep it. I wanted to keep it under our 3-hour time slot, and we can. Oh, somebody. Oh, yeah. Kelly Kane is sawing logs. Are there any questions? Any closing comments that I can help you with? Any chats? Just kidding. This has been great, Kelly says. Oh, good. Because I was going to fire you. No kidding. Okay.
Option 1 is still available to the
Option 1, good question. Option 1 is still available until the end of the month. Then they will redo the materials. It will just be the $99 option and option 2. No word on any name changes. We're just calling it $99 option and option 2.
And still about the qualification for option 99 is still, that's all gonna hold true.
That's always going to be, yeah. That's always going to be the same. Mm-hmm.
It's such a good deal.
It is. It's a really good deal to get that free jewelry and to start your business off with something. You know, you get your tote bag. You know, that's how you signed up, right, Brittany? The $99?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So
So
someone signs up for $99 and then they add on to the designer package.
yes,
And they get to that $500
retail.
That becomes qualified.
Yep.
That makes them
Yeah.
qualified.
Yeah.
So when you were comparing the two between the option 1 right now and the 99, it was about a $40 difference? Is that
No, no, no. What I was saying is that the overall discount with an option 1, getting free jewelry plus that first 500 retail that you would buy is like an overall discount of 40%.
Okay, as opposed to the 25 and then up to the 50,
Mhm.
when you pass the 325,
Right.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I love the $99 option. I will say that you should always lead with the best value option, which is option 2. Get your immediate 50% discount, start off with a good amount of inventory. That's where you should start. Is it possible for everyone? No. Will there probably be good incentives for option 2? Yeah, probably. They're probably going to have that, because $99 is always going to get free jewelry. So maybe after launch month, we'll have other incentives to go with option 2. It's always changing in that respect. But I love that we have those 2 options. And what I say is, if you want to start your business today and you're ready to book your kickoff show, and you are, and you're at least ready to do that, you should be doing option 2, right? And then, if you're very unsure, then you do the 99. But in any event, you're going to qualify under either.
And when they do their 99, it's always a good idea to say, our goal is to get you to where you are making 50% profit.
Right.
And that's when you qualify. And so at your kickoff show, it's going to happen. We're just going to work towards it, and we're going to book it right now, and that's our goal, is to get you to that $375 wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
Something that somebody brought up to me that I did a recruiting interview with, she was not interested in going on the trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And her husband asked, so what happens if she earns this trip? And I said, well, she can cash out. And he really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Not many
something.
companies that allow
I
you to
did.
cash out.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like 1,200?
It depends.
on the
Yeah.
Trip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to end here tonight with our recruiting session, and then we'll see you again next month for the booking and the home show, which will be a lot more interaction with actually doing the show and everything. But I hope you all have gotten something out of it that's been on the web. I think that, to recap, I think Tricia did an amazing job with that recruiting interview. I love what you had to add at the very beginning, Vicki, all that different flavor that you had and everything. And Lisa, all these tips that you're bringing in with real people, I think is really important. Rami, you did the same. I think we're showing a great example to everybody who's brand new and seasoned of just different ways that people express things and different interests that they have. And we're all different, but we're all having a great time, right? Yeah. Thanks to everybody who's on the broadcast. And, oh, Kelly, that's so sweet. She says, thank you, everyone. I'm blown away by all the support. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, I'll keep you. Okay, good night, everybody. Have a good week.
Good night.
Good night.